Armin Millet.
Here.
Davey Giovanni. Michael Cooley.
Here.
Sal Chaconi.
Yeah.
Tom Kerrigan.
Here.
Dave's on vacation.
2 weeks.
I'll be on vacation for the next meeting.
I'll be on for the summer.
Minutes of previous meetings.
On vacation tonight.
Public hearing minutes from April 19th. Should have like 3.
Move to accept the minutes.
Second. We got 3 in here.
Yep. Have a motion to accept the minutes for April 19th.
Second.
I have a second. Do I have any discussion? Here none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. We have the minutes for May 3rd meeting.
Move to accept.
Second.
Have a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Yep, right here.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Here none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. We have one more. The minutes from May 17th. Do I have a motion?
Move to accept the minutes.
Motion made. Second?
Second.
Second, Tom. Any discussion? Here none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. Just a note that we should be correcting the heading. Okay.
We had paid for the letterhead, so
Yeah.
budget's tight.
Yeah, it's in the fiscal year, right?
That's right.
June 30th, so
We
July.
figured we were gonna ride it out.
Yeah, cross it out.
Ride it out, just put a line for it.
Yeah.
We'll white it out.
I have plan submitted, 3.1. An R&R plan from Peter Phillips, 1137 Main Street.
Okay, I'm just seeing this for the first time too. This was a subdivision that was just approved probably about a month ago. It was, I believe, a 6-unit subdivision, so let's take a look. Okay, it looks like,
I thought the time period was up, I thought Bill was concerned the time period was up on this.
well, he's
No, no.
coming in with, he got his subdivision approved. Now it looks like he's trying to break off one of the lots as an A&R. Like I said, I'm looking at it for the first time. It says existing house located at 1137 Main Street as shown on assessors map 419, parcels 4 and 5.
Yeah, I just remember getting a call, I think you were out, Andy, and I got a call from Kerry.
Okay.
He emailed it to, I guess they were concerned, the 21 days was up like last week.
Okay.
So maybe, I don't know. This is different. This one's different.
This is different.
4 or 5? No, this is.
It's exactly the same as the one that was emailed to me.
What's for?
Says 1, 4, and 5.
This must be, that's 1, 2.
I got lot 1.
So this was one lot, and he's breaking up into 2.
That's correct. Where's the access?
Right here.
Yeah, right up.
80 foot.
80
Right off the main.
What's this difference?
This isn't the one.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
No, this is not.
This is
Lot 1, is he creating a non-conforming lot?
How's that number?
Lot 2.
Where's the frontage?
Right here.
No,
That's a
that's
pork
that's-
chop lot, that's
How is
the,
it?
Would that be strange?
What's that a pork chop lot?
I don't know.
there's a lot here. What about lot 1?
119
This
here
is
to
lot
here.
1. Am I looking at it wrong? This is lot 1.
Oh, what's this?
What's 2 lots? 80 foot
Oh,
Oh,
frontage.
that's not the lot
100 feet
line.
wide at
It's
the
it's
front.
just, no, this is the lot. Here it is, right here.
Which one?
Oh, okay, this is right here.
You don't do all the things
Yeah.
I highlighted for you. This is it. This is the, so they're carving out this 21,830 square feet, and this is the whole, this was the original lot,
Oh, so
and it's
this-
just carving this piece
So
out.
this piece
whole
here has
thing.
got 80 feet.
But this is not big enough.
Right.
It's residential age.
This is all
You
residential.
gotta have it, have big.
That's residential.
Minimum lot area, 21,780.
Foot width,
He's
80
20 feet
foot
short.
frontage.
80 foot he's got for frontage, and he's got only 80
That's not
feet.
right?
He's carrying it
No.
back.
80 plus 70.
The frontage, this is residential A, right?
Right.
Residential A is
Right.
20 feet, is half acre.
Yeah, can't put the house.
I'm not disagreeing, I'm just saying, I'm looking at it for the first time like you guys. I didn't talk to Mr. Phillips when he submitted the plan.
I thought it was
Yeah, unless he sticks the house.
Lot size,
No,
21,700.
Residence A?
yeah.
absolutely.
Minimum lot size is 21,780, and he has 21,830.
Right.
2170, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
I had the number.
he's here, he's good here, he's good here.
Right.
He's got 80 foot frontage, and he can't do anything unless he's got the house in here.
He has an existing
Residence A, 21,780.
780,
He's okay
okay.
there.
problem.
Okay, and he's at 830.
It's 80, but he can't build the house.
So if-
The house would have to go like Sal said right in.
It's an existing house. Yeah, and he emailed me, this is why I'm confused why it's before us, because he emailed me because he was concerned the 21 days was up, but maybe got, I don't know,
Yeah.
but he said the house was gonna be back.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to
So
be,
then it'd have
because
his
it
adequate frontage to go back.
That's
needs, that's right, you've got to carry his frontage back to the house.
Okay.
I moved to endorse.
Motion made and seconded to endorse. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Okay, we'll go to our 6:35 hearing. Public informational meeting for Water Street Realty Trust. William Berg, 25 Bay Road, Mattapoisett, Mass. Site plan for the construction of 38 new exterior storage units in 3 blocks. Rehabilitation of bituminous concrete, pavement, and landscaping improvements at 123 First Street.
Good evening, my name is Mike Mulaney, Mackenzie Engineering. I'm here this evening to present the site plan on behalf of the owners, Melinda and Bill Burke, who are in the audience this evening as well. They are the owners of the property and the owners of Landmark Storage, which is the business operated on that facility, on that site rather. I have a presentation board along with the site plan that was submitted to kind of give you an overview of the project. The site is a 3.1 acre industrially zoned site on First Street with Water Street to the north, Laurel Street to the west, Spruce Street to the south, and First Street to the east. The entire parcel is 3.1 acres, but the redevelopment area is 1.46 acres. It's this northerly area of the site. This panoramic photograph was taken north of the site. It shows the existing bituminous concrete pavement, which is in poor condition. As Mr. Souza alluded to, part of the project is rehabilitation of the pavement area that will remain once the exterior storage units are constructed. There will be 38 units in 3 clusters of banks, 12 units, 18 units, and 8 units along the northerly property border. This photograph here is just shown tonight to represent the architectural style. It's going to be very similar to this in that the ends of the units will have an architectural feature which is split-face masonry block. The color scheme will be complementary to the existing building, which is a brick industrial facility with some green, forest green awnings, and the features of the buildings will likely complementary of that. I'll refer back to this as needed. Again, this just shows the location of the site by aerial photo and the industrial zoning district with residence C and business B portion across the street. This is a topographic plan of the existing conditions on the site. As you can see from the photograph and from the topography as well, there's very little topographic relief. That is, it's relatively flat across the majority of the site, except at the northerly limits of the site, there's a 33% slope, which has already been revegetated in anticipation of this project and to stabilize an eroding soil condition. I'll discuss that a little bit further once I get to the landscaping plan. There are 2 existing loading docks that are going to be maintained. No additional loading docks are proposed. There are 4 parking spaces that are striped currently on the northerly side of the lot, although it certainly could accommodate more. But we propose to stripe parking on the southerly side of the facility, which I'll get to on the parking plan in a few moments. This is the site redevelopment plan itself. Again, it's a larger plan view relative to the first board I showed. The bituminous concrete area will be improved, as I stated, but the drainage patterns that currently exist on the site will remain. We are adding 1 stormwater management feature, that is a leach and catch basin. The increase in impervious area relative to existing conditions is a net increase of 4,560 square feet, relatively small. The existing stormwater flow patterns is generally to the east. There's a southerly flow, but it again propagates to the east to existing stormwater management control features in First Street. There's a catch basin at the existing curb cut, a curb inlet at the intersection with Water Street, and then more stormwater features westerly of the site. The proposed plan does not require any variances or waivers. The structures meet the setback requirements for primary structures and also for accessory structures, in that it does not exceed the maximum 25% side lot area, and the structures are 1 story in height. There is a proposed waste container on the site that we will fence in and provide privacy slats. Per the recommendation of Chris Knut, the health director, at a development review board meeting on May 6th, we will be providing a locking gate to this as well, and they will make operational changes as required to assure that people aren't just coming in there and throwing trash if they don't belong on the property. The development, again, is in an industrial zoning district. Therefore, it is not subject to commercial development performance standards. However, we've endeavored to comply with those to the extent feasible wherever possible, because it is, in essence, a commercial operation that is taking place here. A couple areas where we could not comply completely is those standards do not permit parking within the front setback. There are existing parking spaces within the front setback. As I showed on the previous board, there are 4 spaces there now. We're going to restripe that as 3 handicap accessible spaces. That's the logical place for them to be located. There's an existing handicap lift right next to the main entrance of the facility. It will not inhibit passing sight distance, and we don't really see any negatives in that regard. Relative to landscaping buffers in the commercial development performance standards, it looks to see a 15-foot landscape buffer where you front on a street. We're providing a 10-foot buffer, including an existing 8-foot wide concrete sidewalk, some of which will be repaired as part of this project. Again, we're not required to comply with those standards, but we're endeavoring to do so. I'll touch a little bit more on this buffer on the landscaping plan. There will be no storage of hazardous materials within the storage units themselves without prior approval from the fire department as required. The facility already operates storage units inside the existing building. That is stipulated on the lease, and that will continue to do so.
Before you change that,
Sure.
Michael, you're showing foundation sloping. Can you tell us what's going on? Just sloping the foundation?
The foundations are sloping to match the modest slope of the pavement, because these units are going to have at-grade overhead doors for access. So So it's basically to match, so you don't have a lip that you would have to get over.
And will the walls be vertical? Will doors be vertical, or will they be sloped also?
No, the doors will be plumb.
Well,
Yes.
good. Yeah, that's good. The other way makes me dizzy. This is the parking and loading plan. Again, we're not proposing any additional loading facilities, but I point out that there are 2 existing on the northerly side facility, and there are existing loading docks on the southerly side of the facility. No site work is proposed on the southerly side of the building. However, there is existing bituminous concrete pavement that will be striped to accommodate 36 parking spaces. So we will have a total of 45 between the 36 on the southerly side, 6 striped spaces on the westerly edge of the redevelopment area, and the 3 accessible spaces to provide compliance with the number of parking spaces required for storage in the principal structure, plus the proposed 38 storage units and 3 potential future units. We will add signage on the site for directional purposes. Traffic will move in a clockwise direction through the site. There will be security gates that operate on a keypad system to allow tenants, if you will, of the storage units access to those units. We will make provisions for the fire department and other emergency response agencies to have access via a lockbox or whatever device they deem as being the most efficient way of getting access to the site. In addition to the directional signage, we will have no parking signs posted, do not block driveway signs posted, and signs posted to require vehicle operators to turn their engines off, so they're not just leaving them there idling, creating pollution, both noise and air pollution. We will have 11 bollards to protect the proposed storage units on the site. I have indicated on the plan 7 temporary snow storage areas throughout the site, but the operational plan for the facility is to remove snow from the site as quickly as possible to an off-site location. Don't believe I have anything. Any questions regarding this point?
There was one comment from the Board of Health concerning a fence to block.
Yeah, I'll show that on the
Okay.
landscaping plan. Good question. This is a colored rendering of the landscaping plan, just to give you a better idea of what we're proposing. These are the storage units out here, again, with color schemes that are complementary to the existing building. There's an existing lawn area on the east side of the facility. This slope, which is a 33% slope, has already been planted with Baltic ivy, which is a ground cover material. There's an irrigation system in place. The plantings were installed last summer. They're doing well. Once they fully mature, they're going to overtake the slope completely, so there's no issue with erosion. The balance will be treated with bark mulch on the westerly side of the site. Topographic plan shows trees along the westerly side of the site, but they really don't do it justice in terms of the actual size of the canopies. These are mature trees, and if I go back to the original presentation for it for a moment, I took this photograph a couple weeks ago once the leaves opened up, and you can see that it's pretty much from end to end on the westerly side covered, so there really is no need for additional trees on that side of the property. On the easterly side of the property, along Spruce Street, what we're proposing is we're going to construct a segmental retaining wall to provide the required access around the facility, and in the 2-foot buffer between that and the existing sidewalk, install an evergreen privet hedge. One of the concerns that was raised is being able to see what's going on in the site. Police cruisers coming around. This is a storage facility, and some of the history regarding storage facilities has been potentially negative in terms of activity. This facility
if I may, is a step above a lot of the facilities that you see in the area. There's closed-circuit television within the existing facility that monitors all activity. All activity is recorded on tape. Tapes would be made available to the police department or other government agencies as necessary. 12 closed-circuit TV cameras will be installed as part of this project as well to add to the existing cameras that are already located around the facility. And I have with me some photographs of the facility that actually show the CCTV cameras that I can pass around now, in addition to some of the other exterior views. John alluded to a comment that also came from Chris Knuth, the health director. There's a concern, which is a valid concern, of headlights from cars pulling in off of First Street, potentially causing a glare problem to the existing residential houses west of the site. So we stated that we would provide a 6-foot stockade fence along this property line. There's an existing chain link fence now which straddles the property line, so this fence will be placed properly within the boundary of the site. A change that we're proposing relative to the plan that we submitted on April 27th is the addition of one exterior pole-mounted sight light. Initially, our thought was we have a series of wall-pack lights that were installed on around the entire facility, but on this north side of the facility they're installed at 2 elevations, and they cast down a significant amount of light on the site. That site lighting has improved security for that site, and as a result, several of the neighbors have complimented the owners of Landmark Storage, the operators of Landmark Storage, about the improvement to the neighborhood. They enjoy a very good relationship with the Spanish American Center, who had serious concerns prior to work that's been done over the last 2 years at this site. However, we have a concern in this alleyway between the units on the northerly end of the site that there may be some shadow lines and dark areas. So we're proposing a pole-mounted site lighting fixture, maximum 15-foot high, with adjustable cutoff shields to ensure that the light is contained within the site. One other concern that was raised as a result of development review was emergency response vehicle access through the site. I met with Deputy Chief Ashton 3 weeks ago to discuss those concerns, and he asked that I prepare a turning analysis plan, which I filed a copy of a couple weeks ago for the board. I'm just presenting it here tonight. Basically, what it does is it shows the required turning radii and travel lanes for a response vehicle. I based my analysis on data from the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, AASHTO, a pumper truck that has vehicle dimensions that are slightly larger than engine number 3, which is the response vehicle that Deputy Chief Ashton stated I could base my analysis on. That way it provides for some future assurance that we're designing this based on a standard should the city buy a more standard vehicle in the future if they have fire stations that are built to accommodate modern fire equipment. Most of the equipment in town, as you know, has to be purchased special order because the fire stations are rather small. But what these analyses basically show is that there's adequate turning movements available to get around the site for response, going all the way around the furthest unit to the west, and then cutting around again through the middle of these units. I had a discussion or some correspondence with Mr. Souza about exiting the site once a response is completed, and there is a turning movement that may require a 3-point turn when they exit the site. However, at that point, they're complete with their response, and it really should not be a concern. Relative to traffic on the site, this type of use is very low intensive. The peak hours of operation are not contiguous with the normal peak hours of operation for commuters. I've been on this site a number of times in the last year, and I rarely see more than 4 to 6 vehicles parked. It's just the nature of the business. The area is not a heavy commuting route. Mechanic Street is not far removed from this, but the level of service and all the local roads would not be impacted by this operation. Are there any questions?
Covered all of my concerns with that.
Okay. I'll open it up to the audience. Do I have anyone else who wants to add any comments in favor of this project? Anyone else in favor of this project? Anyone opposed to the project? Anyone opposed to the project? Okay. I'll open it up to the board. Do you have any questions for the board?
Mike, on the three-point turn, Ashton didn't have any problems with that?
He didn't even raise the issue. John raised the issue, but Bill understands pragmatically, once the emergency response is complete, if they have to make the turn, and I'm not saying they even have to. My analysis shows that if the driver makes the turn perfectly, he can get out of there, but practically, exactly, depending on who's driving, more than likely they may have to make a turn. That's a multiple point turn.
You address the rubbish totes to be provided.
Again, that's an operational issue, and that was a comment that Chris Knuth had. What Mr. Millett is referring to is, again, we have one waste container proposed in the redevelopment area, and Mr. Knuth's concern was that people are just going to come on the site because the way it was proposed on the site plan indicated that anyone could come in. This is not a gated curb cut. The gated area is to the storage units themselves. They can just come in and start throwing trash in. Since last April 04, everyone knows the history in town with the fees at the transfer station. Dumpsters are filling up everywhere, including at our office building. So what Mr. Knuth proposed is that we gate off the front of this container as well and provide totes inside the exterior storage area that would have signage indicating that they're for use by the people using the units. And those totes would get transferred, more than likely by the maintenance staff at Landmark Storage, to this dumpster on a regular basis, just so there's not debris blowing around everywhere. And we have no objection to that.
Okay. Okay, do I have any other questions or comments? Okay. Do I have a motion to close this hearing?
So moved.
Second.
A motion made and seconded to close the hearing. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. City Council petition, number 8505, Claire Frieda. Request that the City Council endorse a petition to amend the Leominster zoning ordinance by adding in-law apartment zoning bylaw. Do I have anyone here to speak on this? Okay, you got the proposal in your package,
Yes, we do.
right here. Everybody looked at it, commented on it. I expected someone to be here to speak on this.
We may be tied up in another meeting. Could we go to, back to the agenda and then open, and then come back to this if somebody shows up?
Open up the 7 o'clock.
Well, I can open up, we can continue this to later,
So moved.
and
Continue.
then we can go to our 7 o'clock hearing. Okay? A motion to continue this hearing to a later time in the agenda? Motion made, seconded. Any discussion here and on? I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. 7 o'clock, public hearing. The City Council, number 7205, Thomas Shea, and 10 registered voters. Rezone parcel consisting of 21,777 square feet of land at the intersection of Jitech Park and Central Street, shown on Assessor's Map 499 as lot number 22 from industrial to commercial, to allow for the development of this land consistent with adjacent parcels on Central Street, which are currently being used as commercial properties. We'll cover it after, Claire.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
No problem. And we know you're busy, lady. On this one here, we did a site walk on this, and we've looked at it yesterday. Okay? Do I have someone here to speak on this? Yes, sir.
My name is Thomas Shea, 108 Walnut Street, Leominster, Mass. And what I'm looking to do is to put a restaurant on this piece of property, which is zoned,
I think you might want to sit on the other chair so you don't have that sun right in your face. I know how uncomfortable that is.
which is zoned industrial, and all the parcels around it are zoned industrial, but all the businesses are commercial. There's about 9 or 10 businesses that are commercial. That's what I want to do. I want to get it zoned commercial so I can build a restaurant. Something that's right.
Very good. We looked at that, I looked at the site, and I think it's, for what you want to do, I think it's probably a good site. Okay. Do I have anyone else that wishes to speak in favor on this project? And I'll hold my comments until after. Yes?
I'm here this evening, Mary Albertson. It's kind of strange being on the other side of the table here, but
We hope it's more intimidating.
I've used Mr. Shea's limousine service for a number of years. As you know, I travel a lot to the West Coast and to Texas, and he's always run a great business, always been there at the airport to pick me up, and he happened to tell me about his application that was before the board. So I'm here this evening to just speak on behalf of the petition, just talk about the fact that he's always run a very reputable business.
Okay, thank you, Mary.
Mr. Shea, can I ask, you said there's a, so it's, you're looking for it to be zoned from industrial to commercial. Can you tell us a little bit about, where is it exactly? What street is it exactly?
What Route 12 towards the Harley Davidson shop, towards Sterling.
Okay.
Crash Junction, whatever. Just you should turn on to Jitex Drive, I believe it is. Yeah, in the corner of Jitex Drive and Route 12. It's right there. It's an empty lot. The sign for Jitex Park is on the lot.
It's right before the dealership.
Okay.
Right before the dealership. Yeah.
Right.
It's on one corner, the
Right.
dealership is on the other. And, you know,
I have a concern, and I'll tell you what my concern is right up front. Is as we looked at that land, is that whole strip of Central Street is industrial,
right.
okay? Including the current businesses, because down the street, going further down towards town, there is a small tool and die shop. And then going towards Sterling on the other corner is the Harley Davidson, and then there's the farm stand, and
So small.
yeah, a little bit further down. So there are commercial uses and industrial uses on that strip right now. One of the problems, or one of the issues that I have, is that when you take a less than 1 acre parcel that is not contiguous to another parcel, and it's a singular parcel in a single ownership, that is considered to be what we call spot zoning. And there have been a number of court cases where a single ownership no matter what the size, can be considered spot zoning. There are two options that I think you may have. Because my recommendation for the board is at this time, is that we can't approve this, because I recommend to the city council, because of the spot zoning nature. It's just not allowed by the state, by the courts. But if in fact the plan was either enlarged to include the Harley-Davidson dealer and you had more than one owner and you spread it over a large area, then you can amend your petition to the city council and you probably got a pretty good chance of getting it approved. So like if you said you just increased it so it included more than just one parcel of land, okay? Because that has been the law, is that it's a single ownership, small parcel, and that becomes spot zoning.
Well, can I ask Mr. Shea a couple more questions?
Sure.
Where the Harley-Davidson business is, that's zoned industrial,
The
Yes.
property, the land is owned industrial, but the business is
but
commercial.
the business is
All the
commercial.
businesses there are commercial.
All the businesses are commercial by what, like, how did they become commercials? By
Well, from what I-
parents or grandfather?
What I've got them all right here, from what I understand, back before Mr. Cataldo was the building inspector, I guess there was some procedure where you could get a special permit. And I think that's how they did it. I believe that's what I was told.
Because, I mean, my opinion is, my understanding of spot zoning is that it's not necessarily how it's zoned, but the way the uses are. And if there's a benefit to the general welfare on top of it, it may not be considered spot zoning. So I don't necessarily, and I could be wrong, but my understanding of spot zoning is I don't necessarily think he has to get the Harley-Davidson business and any other commercial use that's an industrial zone to go along with the petition in order to avoid the potential of spot zoning. I think my understanding of the law is that if there's other uses in the area, let me get my, where the character and use of a district or the surrounding territory have become so changed since the original ordinance was enacted that the public health, moral safety, and welfare would be promoted if a change were made in the boundaries or in the regulation prescribed for certain districts. A city council is empowered to amend the ordinance without it being considered spot zoning. So that's my understanding with it. So if we were inclined to vote on this tonight, I mean, if I'm only going by what Mr. Shea's telling us, or what, those are the facts, that those are all commercial uses and they're lawful commercial uses, then I don't necessarily think it's spot zoning.
There's, you know, they've all been there quite a long time, and they're all commercial businesses.
And it has,
There's
I mean,
9 of them.
obviously the character has, and the use have changed. It was industrial and they've been commercial for a number
But
of
yeah,
years.
the Harley-Davidson, they've been there for a long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
Plus, he signed my petition, he's right next door, he welcomes the
Oh,
change.
I
The
don't,
lot is not really big enough to put like a plant on there, like an industrial.
and that was my second point of information, is that the planning board this evening, later on the agenda, will be looking at a proposal for a new ordinance, or an addition to our ordinances for industrial land. And basically what that says is, to get around the spot zoning, and it's specific to like piece of land like yours, 1 acre or less. For lots that are 1 acre or less, that the city council can in fact approve a special permit for a use variance if that use fits the criteria of business A and what the table is for business A. And restaurants are allowed in business A, as are beauty shops and hairdressers and small businesses like that, okay? A florist shop. So those businesses, so under that ordinances, which is, may get, you know, I can't say will, it may get approved by the board tonight and refer it to the city council, and then they can act on it. And then that would be a whole ordinance where you wouldn't have to go through a zoning change. You would just go to the city council, to a petition, they will then sign it, you know, they'll approve it, and you're all done. So it happens that you're coming in to try to accomplish the same thing that we're trying to accomplish through another method. Because when we really try to stay away from zoning change, because it really makes things cumbersome, okay, in the actual zoning map, okay? And because of the fear of spot zoning and the possibility of somebody coming back in and saying, appealing it, I don't think anybody would, but, okay, there's always that outside possibility, but somebody's own personal thing may come back in and appeal it, and then you have a different problem. And that's a chance you take. So, yes, go ahead.
The problem with the way you're talking about, it doesn't actually change the land from industrial to commercial.
That's
right?
correct.
Well, see, that's much harder to get financing when you're not zoned commercial. That's one of the problems.
Well,
That's why I want to get it zoned commercial.
That's it.
Because it's a lot easier to get
Yeah,
commercial.
well, we get see, we're trying to do this, but we're also doing it so we still have some control. We change it to commercial, and then that opens it up to, you might want to put a restaurant in there today, and the city council, it becomes by right at that point. There are some controls that are then lost by having a special permit through the city council. I don't disagree with what you're trying to do, and I know, you know, I also know those ramifications. But you can get if you get it by right and you got the permit, and in fact you can show the ordinance, you shouldn't have a problem with your finance.
Mr. Shea,
But, you
I'm
know,
sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Are you closer to where exactly are you? Are you closer to the JAG, are you closer
right
to the
here.
Sterling line?
No,
He's right here. Right there.
Sterling line is probably about a quarter of a mile.
You're in the corner of JAG Park
If you
and
got the map,
Central?
Andy, we had yesterday. If you get the map there,
So
sir,
you abut Residence B?
he doesn't have it.
here, Carol, it's in your pen.
It's in
Well,
your-
yeah, this is what I...
No, that's the zoning map,
That's the zone.
right here,
I don't
I
have...
put HD where the dealership is.
right here. It's Tech and this piece of property here, and then that's
So
how
what's
they
this,
did.
this one right here?
Yes,
So you're in the corner of JAG Park and Central Street?
Central, right?
Yeah, there's the nursery and then there's the...
That's it.
What about a business B?
and we had looked at that, that is, and one of the things we did look at that piece of property when we did the rezoning in '89. There were some discussions about that, I mean in '99, and there were discussions about that, and it was decided to leave it at the industrial at that time. That's all I remember. I can't remember all of the details. Okay. Do you have anything else that you wish to add?
So where we go from there?
Well, I just have one other question. What's right next to you? So there's JAG Park, then the other side is Harley Davidson. What would be,
Right,
On the other side
right
of
next
you.
to me on the other side is, I believe, the dentist and the hairdresser. And that's the commercial businesses, and I believe the property's on industrial.
And then there's two of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 businesses.
Yep.
Really, it should be probably zone business A. What's
I
that?
mean, but I don't understand.
Business A is a little more restrictive commercial zone.
Oh, I see.
To me, I'll be honest with you, I mean, I think it doesn't matter what it zones. If you think, if the board members think it's spot zoning, whether it's commercial, I mean, if you're gonna think it's spot zoning with commercial, then you're gonna think it's spot zoning with business,
Right.
business A, business B. Because that's not my, that's not, and I could be wrong, but that's not my understanding of it. I mean,
The idea is if it's business B, you can attach it to an existing business B.
well,
There is.
yeah, but he's not,
business-
that's why I
that's
asked him, but he's not looking for the whole, he's just looking,
Central Street is the line.
Business B, both sides. Right down the
I
side.
think he
This
meets the
side, and
criteria.
Central Street is here, and industrial on that side.
Right. And right down, one lot deep on Central, business B,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
and it's contiguous.
That's what I'm saying, that we should make this whole thing, that whole thing should even be. That allows the restaurant. Either one, I mean, that allows a restaurant also.
well, I think we're having a discussion during a public hearing. If we close, if no one else
Yeah.
is gonna speak, we can close the public hearing, then we'll vote on it during the regular meeting.
Okay.
Part of the.
Well, I'm just trying to get the information that everybody has, understands. Yeah, we have it here.
No, well, I'd like to see the one in public.
Okay. Do I have any other discussion, any other input from anyone? Any opposed? I ask one more time, anyone opposed? Anyone else in favor? Okay, a motion is in order to close the hearing.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor say, excuse me, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Both say no, motion carries. Sorry about that. Yeah, save that hiccup.
I move to return to the 6:45 hearing.
Motion made and seconded to return to the 6:45 hearing. All in favor say aye. Aye. Both say no, motion carries. Councilor Free, you're on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize for being late. Thank you for
That's
the
all right.
courtesy of holding on for me. I didn't have time to go home and get my folder, so I'm going to try to wing it on what the criteria is, which you probably have in front of you. I put this in, as you know, in our years of deliberation on rezoning. This came up pretty continually, and we agreed to keep it as a separate entity, I believe, and treat it, rather than treat it in the rezoning, to treat it separately. I've seen more and more, probably because of my job as a real estate appraiser, there are many people putting additions on their homes to take care of their parents. They can't have a kitchen, which is really kind of foolish. The square footage is the same. In some cases, it's 600 or 700 or 800 square feet. It's considered a family room, and it has a bedroom, and they're adding one in, which is allowable. In most cases, they have adequate land, adequate frontage, side setbacks, no issues. And, the only criteria, and there were some, I hear some of the elderly people who are saying, I shouldn't even say elderly, over 55, we're all getting there, but, not really elderly, but in some cases, the people are very concerned that they're losing their independence a little bit, having to give up their home to begin with, and then having to not be able to cook their own meals and go into their son or daughter's kitchen, make their meal and go back to their little addition. I think it's really something, the time has come. I don't see a downside to this. I think I tried to put in as much protection for being family, being blood related. If there's a change in ownership, then it has to be reapplied. If the person dies or moves out, then it'd be a reapplication as well. I understand if someone said you can't control it, but you can't control 2 or 3 families living in one house either. I mean, you have to put some faith in the public, and I think we're all working for the same point, to do what our constituency wants us to do if it's not hurting the general population or the zoning in the community. I also feel that it's bringing the generations back. If there's an opportunity for a grandparent to be at that house, if they don't drive, for example, and they're able to live there and the kids come home after school, the kids aren't alone. So there's a lot of upsides to this. And, if you get a small, the average ranch that were built in the 60s and 70s, 1,092 square feet, it's a perfect starter home for a young family that needs a place to live. So the snowball effect of putting an addition on an existing home that the in-laws can live in, frees up a small ranch for a starter home for a young couple that's looking to buy their first property. So I don't see a downside. Maybe I'm not being objective enough, but
Nothing.
you didn't
I'll tell you
disappoint me,
later.
Karen. So, I'd be happy to answer any questions, but I'm seeing more and more of it. I've been doing appraisals for 30 years. We've had banks ask us what the zoning is and whether something's allowable. And I just really feel that time has come to do this. And I think we care in our community about grandparents and parents, and we all have a mindset to take care of them, and it makes it easier on the children that are trying to take care of the parents too, knowing they're at that same house and taken care of, not rushing out to try to shovel a parent's driveway because we had snow the night before and everybody was trying to go to work the next day. So, it's just a benefit. There are some that have been built in the past, prior to the building inspector now, and we're a little freer with the ability to do that. And I don't think anybody's been hurt by the in-law apartments that are up. So I'm going to ask that you look favorably upon it.
Okay, thank you. One of the questions I have is, and I looked in here and I didn't see it, is some kind of a continuing method to control these. Because I have seen residential A areas, in fact there's one, I'll leave the street out, that I go by there frequently, and it's a single family home, and there's a sign out front, 2-bedroom apartment for rent. And
In that case, you'd send a building inspector up there.
I have talked to him, okay? And
That goes back to my issue about not having zoning officer on board, that you should be able to call and go out there and look. I've asked the council for one many times, and we don't get into that.
And I'm not sure, there should be something in here, just, and I think that's the only downside that I see, is that when and I know of a person who does it today. He takes and he rents it to college kids. And he has this in-law apartment, and it's great. And so what they do is they have this apartment, it was built for the right reason, and all of a sudden you have this addendum to the house, and the parent has now moved on to a nursing home or passed away. So the family is only a couple of people in the house. What do I do with this other apartment? I rent it. So
By the same token, I will say, in doing real estate appraisals, I'm in houses every day. I will tell you that there are people that rent a bedroom to a college kid. It doesn't have to be a separate apartment. So, we can be police, we can, try to judge and control and enforce everything that goes on in our community. But I don't think you'd have as much abuse as you think you would have. I'll tell you, I put an in-law apartment on my house in 1982, and I had all the paperwork to come to the board, and when the final time to come, after my dad passed away, we moved my mother in, and when I did all the paperwork, we found out that there was a line right through my house, that 3/4 of my property was not zoned at all. But I could put a gas station on that spot. So we put it in law, and my mother passed away maybe 4 years ago now, and my daughter's there. It stayed within my family, and it's been rezoned since, because there were a couple of areas of the street that had that issue along with the Bard's Farm at that time. You remember, it was all
Right.
not zoned.
Right.
And that was
So
in that,
unrestricted,
right.
and that was pretty much anything. And I think that's the only concern that I said. Everything was, I looked at it, seemed to be written fine, and that was the only issue that I had, is that there was, or a question that I had, was that some way that once it's approved, that we try to control it some way with an annual or biannually, some kind of a permit.
I don't have an issue with that. I don't think it's necessary. But I
I'm
don't
just
have.
throwing it out as an idea.
I
That's all I'm
don't
doing.
have an issue, because I think if somebody, nobody can use it. If it's a residence A and it's an in-law apartment, it's not allowed, you can't use it for rent, for a mortgage. So, people can't use it at the bank to claim it as rent, because it's
Right.
not allowed. The bank won't accept it, the regulations don't accept that. So, it's gonna be based on the honesty of the person that would be doing it. And I believe they're signing affidavits when they would take the building permit out, you know, to state that it's gonna be a blood relative, and if that person leaves, they need to come back and tell us. So I don't know if you need that annual check in there. I think that's
It was just a-
overstepping our bounds, but, you know, I don't have an objection to it.
Yeah, all it was something that I thought of,
Yeah.
not that I'm, you know, just trying to get some feedback.
Oh, I understand, and I've thought of that. I had a concern about that, and I felt personally that was pushing the button a little too much, that, you know, are we gonna check? And again, maybe because I see the other side and I'm in so many homes.
Right.
And I know that there are many homes where if kids don't have a place to live, there are mothers, fathers, their children and grandchildren live in houses that are too many people for the house, but, you know, who's not gonna go.
Oh, and I agree, and it addresses, because we had, you know, a couple of years ago, we laughed that there was somebody came in for an apartment that they wanted to put attached to the house. Well, the house was like 1,200 square feet, and the apartment they wanted attached was 2,500. So, this, you know, in essence, the house became the apartment.
But I think the average is, you know, in retrospect, looking at it, I think I was a little low on the square footage. I think we should be closer to 780 square feet, because that's pretty small that I put there.
I think it's 700, yeah.
Yeah, but 780 is probably a good size, but, I mean, even the 700 is okay. But I think in most cases, it's gonna be, you know, as in my case, you know, we sold my father's house, and that money was invested into my house with a 2-car garage and the apartment above. And there was no separate entrance, and you'd never know that it's an apartment.
That's right.
And my neighbors were all supportive. I mean, you know, there was no, again, that was 20-something years ago, 23 years ago.
Was your proposed ordinance modeled from something else?
Actually, no, I had looked at a couple. I know Lunenburg actually does go the extra mile, allows you to rent them. They think it's okay to actually rent them out. I disagree with that. I don't believe we should be turning Residence A into Residence B. I mean, I think there's enough call for this because property values are so high that it's restricting a lot of people from living. But, no, I think we put some things together back when we talked about the zoning. So there were some pieces in place. I know Eddie Cataldo had done some things. So we just kind of put it all together, tried to cover all the bases.
Well, thank you. Members have any other questions or comments? Or?
Looks good.
Everybody? Well, must be good because we don't have 20 questions.
No, it's scary.
Well, I think we've looked at this, and this is something we agree that it has
We've
been
talked
done.
about it so long, so many
Right,
years that,
right. So,
you know, now the property values escalating the way they are, it's even worse. Reverse mortgages are becoming such a popular item, and I don't think that's a bad thing either, but, you know, if it's still, you know, you're gambling on how long people are gonna live, and that's kind of taking a little bit of putting fear into some of the people as well, but it's a great tool for somebody who has no alternative. But it's still, that person's still living alone.
okay.
I think subsection J really puts some control there too, like you were talking to, George. You know, I think that.
Yeah, he does have to get a permit, yeah.
Yeah, it's well written, and I mean, this is no different than going out and enforcing a new construction site. Same difference.
Yeah.
Go off-
No, I think what we're doing is an annual thing or biannual, so that there was some kind of control, that somebody did have to come in and say, okay, I have to, yeah, we have an apartment, and that my mother-in-law or my mother or my father is still here, and so noted, so that when something does happen, see, the house is now sold, we know it happens because that person doesn't come in, so then you would know, have some guess that something was happening
And where
there.
would you do that? Through the tax bill? How would you do, who would be the, who would they have to come into? The building inspector or the?
I would say probably to the
Tax
building
assessor?
inspector or, you know, any one of the departments who would collect the fee. You know, and I'd say it'd be minimum.
Collect the fee.
No, a certificate, probably through the building inspector.
So you'd want to have them come in once a year and then maybe charge for a certificate?
What happens 5 years from now when there's no flood? They have this little in-law apartment, you're gonna tell them they can't rent it?
Right.
Yeah.
See, that's the question, when you don't have the, people are in fact, you know, renting them. And now you have two-family homes in residential area.
Well, it depends on how you build it. I mean, you know, I think the average person is going to put the two-car garage with a room above. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I've done a lot of appraisals again on game rooms that are on the second floor of the kitchen. You know, it's not, it doesn't have a bedroom, so it's not that you can pull a couch out, call it an in-law apartment if you wanted to. So, I mean, if somebody wants to get around it, they're going to get around it. And whoever is going to build it, knowing that, you know, it's blood relatives only, and blood relatives doesn't have to be elderly. You know, kids, you know, if you read the statistics, teenagers and college kids are coming back home.
Yeah, that's a problem.
My
They're
daughter's
coming home.
32, my son's 26, guess what? And I love it, I love the fact that they do that. But, you know, the statistics aren't necessarily elderly.
Yeah. Okay, I think we've covered it. And anybody else would make any comments? With that, make a motion is in order.
Motion to
close the hearing.
Second.
Motion made, second to close the hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carried. 7:15. Public information meeting for U-Haul, 2727 North Central Avenue, Phoenix, Arizona. Site plan for new construction at 438 Harvard Street.
My name is Phil Cronin, and I represent U-Haul. To give the board a little background here, U-Haul filed a application for a building permit, and the representative of U-Haul met with the building department, and at that time, the representative of the building department suggested that there might be a need for site plan review. And accordingly, the person from U-Haul called Fred Hamway, who is the U-Haul engineer here, and told him that the building department had suggested site plan review. Fred expressed surprise at that, did not understand why any site plan review would be necessary, and he called the building inspector, and the building inspector indicated to him that because of the number of parking spaces, a site plan review might be necessary. U-Haul referred the matter to me to review the issue, and I concluded that site plan review is absolutely not necessary. There are no new parking spaces involved here, and indeed, all we are constructing is essentially a 1,000 square foot office building, and with that office building, we're only required to have 4 parking spaces. We have 4 parking spaces for the office building, and we actually have 3 additional, so we have a total of 7 parking spaces. In any event, these are not new parking spaces, these are existing because U-Haul always had an office building there, and you may be aware the old building burned down, and this is a new building in place of the old building that burned down. So we believe that there is no requirement here for a site plan review of this project.
Mr. Chairman, this had come up, I think I had actually left Fred Hamway a message when the question came up why I was going to need it. It came up at development review while I was on vacation, and I think the reason that they asked for it to come back to the planning board was because of the long delay in between the fire and this plan coming through. There was like a 2+ year delay, so they thought that a new plan should be submitted to the planning board to take a look at. So So that was, I believe, per development review, the mayor, as well as Ed Cataldo and other members as well.
Well, that's not a criteria for site plan review. I mean, the ordinance lists the 4 criteria for site plan review, and so-called delay between the time of the fire and this application is not one of the bases.
Okay, well, whether this requires a site plan review or not, I drove by the site and looked at it, and looks like the driveway comes across state property. Is that correct, that state property?
No,
Is that
no, the driveway comes from Harvard Street.
Harvard Street?
It goes directly into our
There's a
property.
property line here, and who owns this side? City or the state?
The driveway comes in our property.
Anyway,
I don't know anything about other properties.
Wherever you have the pavement on somebody else's land there, that you should probably resolve that with whoever that is.
Yeah, please.
And the other thing I noticed was that there are 2 signs obstructing the sidewalk there, which are in violation of the city's sign ordinance, which you should remove, have them removed, and then put the correct signs up there.
I agree.
Where is that? Not the signs, the
Driveway?
property line that you're talking about?
No, front end, yeah.
Over here,
All the way
Carol.
to the left.
Over here.
You come up Harvard Street and you come into this driveway, you have to come in, and this is the property line for U-Haul, but all of this is paved for access in there. So
This
that's
is
why I
their-
wondered if it was state or city.
The driveway is definitely in our property. We go directly into Harvard Street.
So this plan is showing.
The plan is showing your property. Do you see, have you looked at the plan?
Fred is the author of this mysterious plan.
That's what it's talking. This is the property line, and here's Harvard Street. So what's this here?
No.
What's that?
This is U-Haul.
That should be towns, but I think the pier comes from Route 2 south of the
Yep.
bridge.
Yep.
With the highway layout.
So that
But there
state,
is-
so that edge of pavement is on state property.
No, I believe town, city.
What's that?
City is.
It's on city property.
Harvard Street layout.
Well, Harvard Street's over here.
Right.
The Harvard
That's-
Street layout's it here,
It's here.
and then you got a concrete wall foundation, and then you get the edge of pavement, which is on city property.
Proposed
Yes,
this.
I believe it is, yes, that's what exists, that's how it's been for whatever period of time.
Okay.
That's not proposed or anything like that,
That's existing.
been
That's
there.
existing.
So, Fred, you're not, this says proposed edge of pavement?
This
The pavement,
dark
this
line
is,
proposed.
no, right here. Oh,
Just
this
right
part.
here, this is, that's to do with the septic
That's
system,
inside.
that's for that, yes, that's inside the property, right.
This is the actual edge of pavement.
Yes, it is.
As it existed.
These two buildings are what's proposed?
No.
No, just this one here.
Oh, this building.
Yeah, they
I
are.
just thought it says
That's
future.
No, that's
Future, that's another down the line, when you may need a site plan.
Yes.
This is what's proposed?
Yes, in place of the building that burned down many years ago and then was replaced by a trailer. Many years. Until recently.
Well, I think I agree with this gentleman, it doesn't need site plan, but the thing, it's like we're here, so we might as well, you know what I mean? We're here, we can open the hearing, we can close the hearing, and
Well,
we
to
can...
explain what
Work the
Andy
signs.
said, I called, Carrie was at the meeting, right?
Yes.
Said she could get hold of Andy, told me he believed it had to do with the expiration of 2 years length of time.
Yeah,
So, but
talking
you
to
said
Eddie,
you
that
weren't
was-
sure, and you said to talk to Ed, which that's what I
Right, the
called.
impression I got from Ed was that because it was a lapse of like 2+
Right.
years, that it was more possibly even a courtesy thing that you revisit with the board because of the whole trailer issue and that it had been there for almost 3 years.
And what happened when I talked to Ed, he said, I explained to him what Andy thought it was. He said, no, it had to do with when they went to the building permit, it was suggested they go to the development review meeting. And when he went there, when Tom Casey from U-Haul went there, and they discussed it, what I guess came out of it from Ed's point of view was he didn't know if it was 10 spaces, 15, it was unclear. So go get it set in how many spaces you have and put it before the planning board for site plan approval. It was always 7, that plan hasn't changed even
what they saw as development review.
Will you be redoing this?
No, that
It's
all
already
exists.
existing.
All exists. Matter of fact, the building's going on that back portion of the pavement, so nothing's changing impervious-wise. It's just,
Well, this is not a site plan review, this is a public informational meeting according to my...
well, they
first-
said that we had to file the site plan review and application.
Is the building that burnt down, is it substantially the same size as the proposed building?
I
This is
don't know,
1,000?
I know it's smaller.
This one's
I
smaller.
believe.
That's smaller,
It was
yeah.
a good-sized two-story building.
The other building was more than
Right, right. Yes, the house.
See, the other house was originally in
That's
here.
right, I remember it now, that's
And
right,
it was
I
a good
remember.
size, I don't remember the size of it, but it was a
Yeah,
little bigger than
old
that.
farmhouse, yeah.
Yes, but it was 2 stories, and even the footprint was bigger than that, I believe.
And the parking spaces are right here.
Yes, and they exist today.
You're not adding any in front of the building?
Excuse me? Any parking? No. No.
No, it's not 10 spaces, so, in the
No,
lot, the
it's 4.
building is
We
small.
got 3 extras.
Do you show snow storage? I know it's a small building, but.
It's gonna be right around the perimeter of that. There is vegetation,
Right.
existing vegetation all the way around, and, but there still is adequate space
Yes.
before the trees for the, plowing along that area.
What is this shed?
That's an existing shed that's not being used. It's,
Is that part of your farmhouse too?
yes,
Yeah,
yeah, that was there before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sealed barn.
Okay.
All right, and this is, just for clarification, because I haven't known this, this is a prefab showroom, 26 by 40 that you put in
Yes,
here?
yes.
Period there, and no slab elevation as well.
Okay.
That shed on the national...
So I don't know if it's right for clarity maybe to the building inspector, just to, if you feel it's a site plan approval process to just memo back to Ed.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll make a comment to him. I'll see if, I'm gonna be open, I won't let anybody else make any comments that they have on this.
Carol, what do you think?
Do you have any other comments?
Site plan.
No.
You're all set? You had something, Alma?
Nope.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Greg Lascotti.
I can't hear you, please.
Greg Lascotti, I'm sorry, I have allergies pretty bad here. I own the adjacent property, Derby Farm LLC. I have a question first. Are they will they be renting vehicles out of this location as well?
We have a non-conforming use to rent vehicles, but that's not the purpose of this. This is the office building.
The question was asked, are you gonna be renting vehicles? Yes.
Just so for clarification, for the number of parking spaces, I think that was one of the reasons why they had to come here for site plan review, because they're renting trucks as well as employee parking. My main concern for being here tonight is this property, and I've spoken with the gentleman from U-Haul, provides access, excuse me. We used to go through this property. The Fitzgeralds acquired this property from the Derby family some years ago. And the access to a barn that I owned directly behind this property, as well as the land behind the barn, was always accessed through the property right where they're putting the location of this building. So I brought that to you all's attention. Basically, it's probably a private property matter or adverse possession claim, but I brought it to their attention. I just want to bring it to the board's attention as well, that there may be a problem there with the location of the structure.
So, let me get this correct, is, what you're saying is, when the old farm was here, that the farmer used, there was a road or something that went through this area to the, to the detention basins? Oh, I went to that area.
Right, the driveway that's currently there, if you went to the end, you'll see there's a chain link fence and there's a gate there. And we had a padlock on that gate that, I had the key to, and we used to unlock the gate to go to the barn that I demolished last year, and then we'd access the rear of my property. And that's been done by the Fitzgeralds for 50 years, I think. So,
There's no easement, it was just adverse, it was just an agreement that the landowners had.
I don't know if it was an agreement or what I would have to bring an adverse possession claim, which I haven't done yet. But bring it to the board's attention. We need it basically for the city to have maintenance of that detention pond down below. I must say the gentleman from U-Haul did say try to work something out possibly with access maybe somewhere else in a property, but we weren't able to, I just heard from him today, so we weren't able to discuss an alternate location.
Okay. We'll go back to this other question. If you're gonna have rental, you said you're gonna have rental vehicles? Where are you gonna park the rental vehicles?
Within the 7 spaces.
Within the, you're not gonna have more than,
We've got
so you only can have 3 rental vehicles? Because you have to have 4 vehicles for the,
four.
for the building.
That's right.
And you know, I drive by there every day, I've never seen more than 2 there,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. I've rented from there before. Sometimes I had to go back because it was.
I'm just letting you know what your restriction is.
Yes, we know.
Okay, you got 7, and then if you have, you've got, of those spaces, 4 are for the building, the 3 are for the rental vehicle. But it seems like we have another issue here. I'm not sure how to even deal with that.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't think it's that far.
Yeah,
If it's represented, if this is represented to us that this is U-Haul's property, or their right to use it, then I think that's what we,
that's what we have to,
Have to
that's
go
what we have
by.
to go by, Okay.
Jim, can I ask, are they gonna do a presentation or is this it? They provide landscaping plans and
Yes.
that type of stuff?
What's that?
Are they gonna be doing a presentation on the proposal? You're not going to hear it?
They've done that. Will they be doing a presentation on the site,
On the board or anything? Or?
on the board? I don't believe so. The contention is they don't have to be here.
Okay.
I think I had some comments.
Let's read this. If there's more than 2 vehicles here, 3 vehicles here.
Mr. Hanway, do you know that Mr. Morrow from Conservation says it's, you're going to have to require a request for determination? You aware of that?
No, I wasn't. I'm not sure why.
That's all it says. It's dated May 27th.
I've got another comment here from the Board of Health. You have not paid for their septic system design plan and review.
Take care of that. That was supposedly, Chris had called me about that a good month ago, and I thought that he could take care of.
Well, this is dated June 7th.
I mean, he didn't call me, and after that, I thought he could take care of. But, because we submitted the septic plan, I want to say March, I don't remember exactly, it was quite a while ago. But anyways, that we have to deal with him, and if that wasn't paid, that would be, yeah, he won't review it, of course, until we pay the fee for the review,
And at this point, the Board of Health disapproves of this,
because of,
non-payment of the septic system.
I didn't know that.
Because we get this in that package.
I'll have to talk to
Also, the fire department said that no fire this is a tough one.
Detection.
No fire detection or
Suppression.
suppression is shown on the submitted plans. Do you have any comments on that?
I'm not sure about the building, if they're asking, if he's asking for a fire hydrant, I haven't heard about that. But I think, my opinion is that those should be answered when the building permit is applied for, if it isn't required, as we feel that site plan approval isn't part of the process.
Well, I mean, that's what would happen, it'd be a condition.
Right.
That all these things are in fact completed prior
Right.
to.
I mean, Ed Cataldo, of course, would be getting these same comments, whether he got them now or when a building permit is applied for. But I'm not sure, to be honest with you, if that's required to be sprinkled or what the building itself. Those issues along with the septic, I wasn't aware that Chris had an issue with the septic, but I would have to talk with him. I would assume it has to do with the fee, not that it's, if there's something technically wrong, we have to fix it, of course.
No, he didn't say anything about technical, it was strictly the fee.
Okay. I mean, his just not approving, rejecting it has to do with the building, you thought, how you read it?
Yeah, that's all.
It says you.
This is a UL has not paid for their septic system design plan review. End of story, period. So I can't
You
make,
can still get paid all this time, I want to make sure you pay over it.
so I can't make any other comment when I'm reading what I get from my different departments here. And I take that input so that we have it, so you have it from the fire department, and of course the question comes up on trailers and storage, you know, and you're looking at, got a trailer requires a parking place. And I think when you ask the question, I really think that they believe that they're going, we've had, in the other U-Haul location in town, there are always more vehicles than they applied for. So, constantly. So, from that instance, you know, we're very cautious. And you come in with a plan that says you want to have 7 parking places. 4 are required for the building. That means you only can have 3 more parking places, be it a trailer or a truck, where you can park anything on site.
How many do you require for 1,000 feet of office space?
It's, well,
One for 250 square feet.
right. And another way to look at it, one part of it is office, you have the showroom, and it's 3 for the showroom and 1 for the office, and it comes out to 4 either
4,
way.
and then you have 3 left over.
Yeah, 3 left over.
That's what they felt they needed, they wanted to have for possible rental vehicles.
So, okay, so we can say, I want to put in 9 now, it still doesn't need site plan review. That's my opinion.
Correct.
No, that's all right.
Right.
I'm just saying, I think that's, your question was why, and the answer is here in the comments that I have, is that it was on the vehicle parking, okay, for the trailers or the trucks.
Right,
Come into that.
It did say, what he couldn't figure out if it was 10 or 15, show him the plan you have, and that'll be the plan, and that's what it's.
Okay.
So,
More than one building.
Are you proposing a drive-through window?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have anyone else who wishes to make any comment?
Yes, I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yes,
One
Ron.
of the 4 items for site plan approval is that there is more than one building on a lot. How many buildings do we have on this?
There's just one, it is an extension of,
it's the replacement of that building that was always there.
all we're doing is replacing
Burned
it.
down.
Yeah, but I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Right.
Counting 10 buildings on
And
that
there were
lot.
10 when this one was burnt down. It's the same.
What they're saying is that because of the delay in 2 or 3 years, that the original permits and things have lapsed. Okay, and they're saying, hey, because of that, you have to come back in, and we'd like to see a site plan come to the planning board.
That's not what I was told by.
Well, I mean, you hear different things,
No, I
yeah.
mean, I
Well,
called him and that's what he told me.
it was referred to us for site plan by the building inspector, and I'm reading it here for myself. It says a site plan approval from the planning board shall be required when a new use or an expansion of an existing use results in more than one building on a lot. Now, you have 10 buildings on this lot,
Yes.
so you need a site plan approval.
but no, it's not an expansion of a new use. This is an existing use. We have one building that's replacing an existing building. The other 12 buildings are referring to are existing buildings and an existing use. This is not a new use.
This is an expansion of an existing use.
We're not expanding. It's the same use. There are 12 buildings, and one building was lost. We're replacing it. So we're not expanding anything.
Well, you are expanding because you
So,
haven't
the
done it.
new building.
And the building's been gone for 3 years. You are expanding when it's gone because it's gone.
I mean, we get into an argument whether you should have a site plan. I'd rather you have come in here and say, here's my site, let's look at it, let's be proactive, rather than, and let's get the thing so it's correct. That's what I would have preferred. But what came in here was, we don't have to come in for a site plan. Okay. It's been determined by the building inspector that that's what he's requested. Take that issue up with the building inspector. We scheduled a meeting for this evening. We're here to try to look at the site, to try to get the site to work with the issues that we had. It's a public informational meeting. We will make a recommendation back to the building inspector that we've had a shot at it, and to the rest of the city council and whoever else is a lot of concerns, because there have been a lot of concerns about this site. Let's face it, there's a lot of history here. I don't want to go into it, but we have a lot of history. So
We are prepared to present it then if you feel that we should go through the process.
right.
Okay, we are prepared to do that.
Yeah, just want to go through the process, get it done. As you look at the site, you've got a building, you've got 7 parking places, you've got your grades, and we'll put some conditions on it. And your issues with, okay?
Just for the record, I don't think it requires a site plan, but if we're gonna go through that process then, and I think we already have, I don't think I need any more information, but.
You can make it real brief.
Right.
As most of you seen on the plan, this is the overall view of the site. And they have a more blown up portion in this area. And once again, this is the entrance off of Harvard Street into the existing paved parking area and back to the proposed building next to the existing shed. And to the south towards Route 2 is the proposed new septic system. To the east, they're the existing storage units themselves. So this plan right here is a blow up of this area. Once again, access off of Harvard Street to the parking area, paved area, existing paved area to the new building. Just to talk about some of the issues that go with the site plan review requirements. I mentioned earlier that we're not changing any impervious surface. This new building is going to go on top of where there's existing pavement now, so there's no change in runoff due to increase in impervious. It's going to be staying the same from existing pavement to rooftop. We have landscaping that exists right along the north side of the parking area is about a 2-foot-high timber retaining wall with shrubs that are planted many years ago. They're not natural growing. They were planted there. Evergreens type of shrubbery. On the south side, there is, I think, about 6 mature trees and some scrub vegetation that has grown up along that area. There's another tree in this vicinity right here, and then there's vegetation up that has just grown in and around the site. All that's going to stay as is. Lighting, we have present right at the corner of the parking lot, right at the corner of the property, there is a telephone pole with a square lighting system that shines down onto the parking area, shines into the site itself, and illuminates the parking paved area. There will be lighting on the proposed building at the entrance to the doorways. Once again, we will have a new septic system to service the building. And I'll take care of that with Chris. And we're also proposing a new water line coming out to Harvard Street.
How many employees?
Is there one employee?
There's 2 now.
There's 2 at the same time? I mean, they
Alternate, yeah.
alternate, but not 2 at the same time, right?
Hardly ever.
And your primary business is the storage,
Yes, storage facility.
and the secondary is rental of any units, right?
Correct.
Okay, I have a question now. Section 2249.9 requires the location, size, of the proposed building will be in harmony with the surrounding neighborhood. We've heard tonight that this location of this proposed building is not in harmony with the proposed neighborhood. There's blocking access to some sedimentation ponds. So I would like to see on the site plan where the access to those sedimentation ponds will be.
I can't answer that. Maybe Tom Casey from U-Haul can. I'm not sure if there is even a requirement.
Tom Casey with U-Haul out of Phoenix. I spoke with Mr. Lasati today. He did have some concerns about access to the detention ponds there. And I guess my question would be is, how do you plan to access those ponds? There's access on our site right now to the point of entry you spoke about, but from there on out, where do you go?
What we've been doing for the last X number of years, the property I've owned in the Fitzgerald, it goes right through your building. Right at the end of your property is a gate there.
All right, right past there, at that location there is no longer a gate there. From there on, how do you access?
That's
By
my
what
property,
road?
we just drive, you continue driving. That's
Well,
right on the toe of the slope.
that now is a drainage ditch that Mr. Lascotti built. All along there, and it runs down around to the back of the property. Now, that location there is also accessible from the other side of this property. Which either way, you have to get there by walking or by a piece of equipment. I would contend that we do not impede his access to that lot, that he cannot get through there anyway, unless he walks. So if he's gonna walk or use a piece of equipment to go down there and maintain that, he can do so from the access on the other side of his property. There is a fenced area down on the back portion of our property, on the lower portion. There's some higher shrubs there. He's more than welcome to have access through there if he needs to. He's got access to the back of his property if he needs to. And I would contend that he's not going to drive any vehicles down the bottom of that drainage ditch dollars. I walked the whole property today. I'm willing to help him in any way, but I don't think it's an issue. I think it's a non-issue.
Okay, we'll have to walk it too to see that.
Yeah, please do. I mean, it's
Yeah, this came up tonight.
it's a swale there, you know. I have other drainage issues that I've been working with. The grade change and the topography of his site is not what it is. It's supposed to be. It's much larger. It creates more drainage. Our property has to deal with it in erosion. I've been fairly generous in understanding that he's under construction and waiting to see what the end of that will be. And so I've been working fairly with him as an abutter, and I would hope he'd do the same for us. But I just say it's a non-issue.
Okay. Do you have any other questions? Do you have anything else you wish to add?
No, it's not.
Do we have any other questions or comments from the audience? Okay. Motion is in order to close this hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and
We're
seconded.
gonna close the hearing, or we're gonna have a site review to see about this access?
Well, we can discuss it, you know. You want to refer this to the site?
I can't discuss it without seeing it.
I think that's between two private owners, and it's not our issue. If there's an issue as to access and whose property it is, if that's what the issue is. Isn't that a private matter between two individuals?
Well, if we can resolve it here in 5 minutes, it would be much better than spending 6 months in the courts, I would think.
Well, it means another month. Well, 2 weeks anyway.
Yep.
It's up to the board members.
Let's vote. Call the question.
Okay. Motion to call the question. Take precedent. Well, we already have a motion on the floor. We
We're
can't
going to
have,
close the hearing.
motion is to
The motion to close the hearing.
close the hearing.
That I was-
I have a motion to close the hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
No,
No.
2, 4 to 3.
3, 4, 2 minutes. 3 to 3. We can discuss this, and we will, later on in our meeting.
Did we close, was the hearing closed?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Perhaps. Okay.
Good idea, right.
All business. Regular meeting. 4.0, old business. National Tower LLC, bond release for 31 Palmer Road. Andy, you want to report on this?
We actually approved the cell tower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On Tom's land, Tom had to recuse himself from it.
honestly, I don't think there's anything here for it. John and I went and did a sidewalk over there.
Oh, but wait a minute. Tom walked up, but we should really take a motion. Motion is ordered to recuse Tom Kerrigan from this discussion.
So moved.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. Okay, go ahead.
John and I yesterday took a drive over to 31 Palmer Road, over to the tower. And let me just get the file. They were requesting a,
Hmm?
So that was,
You had to go all the way to Westminster to get there.
they were requiring, or they were asking us to release, is it in? 6,000. Do we have the? They were asking us to release a $6,000 bond on the site. And when John and I went up to the site, one of the key issues from a planning board standpoint was landscaping around the area. When we got up there, there was none. It's, you know, it was brought to our attention that there is some potential activity on that site to be used at a future date. We don't know what that's going to be, but no matter what, we're looking to have a vegetated buffer put around there like they were, you know, asked to do originally. I mean, it looks clean up there, but it's not, there's no buffer of any kind, there's no landscaping done at all. So with that being said, I would probably urge the board to, I mean, we could send them a letter denying the request for the release of the bond until they do so.
Is that the total amount of the bond, 6,000?
6,000, yeah.
Why don't we just do that, and we'll just send a letter saying that to come back to us with a landscape
Yeah,
plan?
here it is right here. Yep, the delivery of a $6,000 removal bond. And like I said, looking through the conditions, the first item on there that the board really was concerned about was a landscaping buffer around it, a vegetative buffer, and
There's nothing.
there's nothing up there. So we can submit a bond to National Tower, letting them know that the board will not remove that bond until they have put in a vegetated buffer.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries. Our members can come back in.
Line up here.
New business, Water Street Realty Trust, William Berg, 25 Bay Road, Mattapoisett, Mass. The construction of 38 new exterior storage units in 3 blocks. Rehabilitation of bituminous concrete, pavement and landscaping improvements at 123 First Street. What is your wish?
I thought that was real good, actually.
You covered all of that very nicely in the hearing, and that was not much to discuss.
I went there to the site a couple of weeks ago, toured not only outside but the building itself, and I was very much impressed with what was done with that old building, how clean, how the units were inside, how clean it was, the security in there, and if anybody wants to look at a building that's been rehabilitated Class A in the city from an old industrial site, maybe you should have some tours over there, because this is really a Class A operation. So,
How did we deal with the Board of Health's comments?
they were all covered in the comments.
So we don't have to make them require, they're not going to require the rubbish totes. Aren't going to make them require to
They
have the
said that
rubbish
they
totes.
would.
Yeah, they,
An issue.
Well,
That's not-
He said there was one, right? Is that what Mike said? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I understand from here, but if I can just add some information. We
Yeah.
are providing the one container on site, but operationally, we will provide the
That's
tows.
right.
So if you add that as a condition of approval, you won't have an issue, as well as adding the 6-foot stockade fence. We don't have that indicated on the site plan. And
Yeah.
also, if I may, I indicated during my presentation that we are adding a site lighting fixture that wasn't shown on the plan. If you just indicate that that must be in conformance with zoning requirements relative to height and cutoff, rather than resubmitting the plan.
And you'll also agree to no outside storage as per the building department?
I haven't seen that comment.
This is all, that's all he says, that's all Ed Patel says, there's no outside storage, which I assume means,
No, the storage is going to be contained
Inside.
within units. Yeah.
Everything's internal, so that's, it's planned that way, yeah.
okay. I would move to, to approve the site plan with those conditions, if the staff has those conditions, as
Yeah.
Mike outlined.
I'd be happy to email.
Okay.
Motion made and seconded that the plan be approved with the conditions from the Board of Health, if they were, right?
Well, Board of Health plus the fencing.
That's
Yeah,
That was all
from the
Board of Health.
That's all Board of Health.
It's all Board of Health.
And the building inspector, that there's no outside storage.
Yeah, the added site lighting.
And the added site.
And the site light. Okay, you got that, Brenda? Okay, any further discussion? There none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. 5.2, City Council Petition 8505, Claire Frieda. Request that the City Council endorse a petition to amend the Leominster zoning ordinance by adding in-law apartment zoning bylaw. We had a fair amount of discussion on this. I think we covered a number of issues. I think in essence it's a good law, a good ordinance, and it's something we need. Have any other questions? Anything you want to add?
No, I thought it was well written, Claire. Nice job. I thought section J really kind of put the restrictions on that we needed to have on, and I don't think we need to police it any further than that. So just a comment to be made on the enforcement piece. Because I think that covers it pretty well.
The only comment I have is that it should be entitled in-law apartment zoning ordinance, because we're a city and it would be an ordinance and a bylaws for towns.
Good. Good rule.
Nice catch, Dan.
Good. Ordinance.
No.
Ordinance.
Hey, we can cut out Carol.
Yeah, the real important things.
That's a good one.
I'm just concerned with the enforcement. You know, it seems like the building department is stretched real thin already. And now we're piling some more work onto them. Will this be building inspector? Has to do all of it?
He is the code enforcement. He is the code
I
enforcement
think
officer.
Claire should do it.
It has to be done. It is a situation that, yeah, probably should be addressed. But
Well, if it's not enforced, there's plenty of unscrupulous people who are gonna take this loophole to the max, and you're gonna see a lot of two families springing up in Residence A district.
I personally wouldn't mind.
yes, Claire, I'll let you.
Just for a point of information, I don't know if you have it or not, but the building inspector did speak in support of this to the city council.
Yes, yes.
His letter already came to us.
I was aware of
But
it.
keeping in mind though, Armin, it's even, right now, there's no in-law apartment ordinance, which means you can add 2,000 square feet to your 2,000 square foot house
Yeah.
and put Joe and Betty Jones next door, into it, without being blood related to your marriage, related to you. So this
Do
is
that
more of
now
a
without
regulation.
DNA test.
That's
Right.
exactly. So it's almost as if,
Law protection.
you know, and Claire has a good point. People, there's people renting bedrooms within the house, and how we ever gonna?
Yep.
You just can't control everything.
I just think with it in writing, I mean, that might be some policing in and of itself, when people see it in black and
Another
white.
concern is that you see where this has been done, and where it has served its purpose, that the in-laws can Now it's turned into a two-family house with a couple of strangers and an absentee landlord. I see that happen. And 4 or 5 cars, curbs get torn out, the front lawn gets torn out and paved. And that I see happening a lot, and that's why we need to have some enforcement here, or people just going to do that. They're going to take it on their own to do that stuff. You can see it all over the city.
But this is, I mean, this is special permit to the city council, right?
I know I'm not supposed to speak. I wish
That would
Simon had
be,
brought these up during the hearing.
This is special permit to the city council,
So it's good.
and it's good, and it automatically terminates.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that he's saying he sees it all over the city now. So, I mean, obviously, if there's an enforcement in place and an ability to control it through the building inspector's office,
We hope that will improve it.
you will not be able to control everything. I've seen houses when I do appraisals where somebody has 2 of their son's friends living there because they're having trouble with their parents. So somebody takes them in, now you got 3 cars out front with 2 other cars. I mean, this is happening. I hate to tell you how much it's happening. Maybe I could enforce it as I go along and do my appraisals, but...
There you go.
Is this going to be retroactive to all existing
No, it's
uses?
actually-
They're all pretty much grandfathered.
They get grandfathered, that's simply grandfathered.
That section, grandfather.
All right. Good,
So-
let's vote.
Yeah, I make a motion to recommend.
A motion to recommend, do I have a second to that?
Second.
Have a second? The quiet one down here.
No boy talking.
You've been quiet tonight, huh?
Hanging around with this guy.
Didn't stop him.
All in favor say, do I have any further discussion? Here none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. Good luck, Chief. Looks pretty good.
Good job, Claire, thank you.
Yep, it's a good one.
City Council petition 7505, Thomas Shea and 10 registered voters, rezone a parcel consisting of 21.771 square feet of land at the intersection of J-Tech Park and Central Street, shown on Assessors Map 499 as lot number 22, from industrial to commercial, to allow for the development of this land consistent with adjacent parcels on Central Street, which are currently being used as commercial properties. I think we've had different views on this. One that it's spot zoning because of the size of the property and it doesn't abut any the commercial. And Carol seems to think that because of the use of the other commercial uses in that area, that it would be, because of the use, it would be okay. It's up to the board to make a decision on which way you want to
But
go.
however, we can't control the use, that's just an intent.
That is correct.
So, but however, at other intersections throughout the city, they have neighborhood zone business districts, such as the intersection of Willard Street is a little square with business B. Kings Corner is a little square of business B. North Leominster there is. Marion Avenue there is.
Lancaster Street,
So, you might want to look at
business B versus commercial.
business B or commercial for the 2 lots, one on each side of Jai-Tech.
And that would expand it so that it would not be.
So that would be the dealership and the store.
Right.
Yeah.
So either business B or
Well, business
commercial.
B, is he allowed in business B?
These are those
Dealership?
2
Yeah.
lots.
Well, it'd be grandfathered anyway.
It'd be grandfathered, but what if you ever wanted to sell it?
They're not conforming use. You can only sell it as a conforming use. You can still sell it as a vehicle dealership. I don't know if we differentiate between motorcycles and...
Because that's not
I think
allowed.
it's a
Well, no, it's boats, trucks, cars, and farm equipment. Repair and services, repair and service.
Gotta look for automobile.
Automobile. It's not allowed, has to be special permit.
Business B is allowed in commercial, so make it commercial. CC, commercial, both sides of Dry Tech. One lot D.
Yeah. Because otherwise, it's gonna be a special permit.
If it's commercial, it's allowed. Business B requires special permit.
Okay, so what you're recommending is to the city council that it, as it stands, it's not recommended, but that the other lot that is now sits on the other side of Jitech Park is in fact, should also be included. That way it would not be spot zoning.
Correct.
Because there'd be two different ownerships, and it should be commercial for both of them.
In fact, it could go 2 lots deep from Dry Tech in both directions and still take in some existing commercial uses.
Right.
Wow.
They're not all, some of those are industrial,
Yeah.
to go down.
Well,
Right.
there's
There's a tool and
combinations.
die.
But on top of the tool and die, isn't there?
Right. I don't have a
That's
problem
the
with it,
story.
but I think all we said was that it
Let's just
shouldn't
do
be,
the strip right.
it shouldn't be the single lot. It
Yeah.
should be multiple lots in that area. It should be,
This would
Should be
be,
commercial.
should serve a neighborhood function of serving the industrial park and all the new homes that are being built around it.
mhm.
And it makes sense to have this intersection serve that purpose.
Commercial.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so as I understand, the recommendation to the city council would be to
Expand.
to deny, recommend that the current petition be denied as written, but it be amended to include lots adjacent,
Two lots.
2 lots adjacent to this, a lot adjacent to this one, and 2 lots on the other side of Central Street, I mean, on the other side of J-Tech Park, on the same side of Central Street.
Correct. So he's got.
So you'd end up with 4 lots,
2 lots in both directions.
2
from
lots
Dry
in both
Tech.
directions.
1 lot deep off of Central.
That's correct.
Right, 1 lot deep,
Yep.
as commercial.
Right.
So you're gonna have a little small, you'd have a commercial zone in there,
Yep.
okay?
Mr. Chairman, would that include, so just so I understand, that includes like where the Harley Davidson
Yes.
is?
Right.
That lot and the one after the Harley.
Harley Davidson.
And then this lot and the one before.
Yeah, they
What's
might-
that-
So
what
you-
time?
so
2
you had two
before,
there,
2 after,
Okay, that's
Jack.
fine.
So-
Gotcha. Thank
What's
you.
after Howard?
Yep.
The flower shop and the,
Flower.
So they don't show the law.
well, see, they, what's that?
I'm sure they would go.
Oh, it doesn't make any difference.
There's
to a
nothing
flower.
on the other side.
No,
On this lot.
No.
That's an empty lot.
that's an empty
On this
lot.
one?
Yeah.
Right.
No.
To the right of that lot.
Splits it down the middle.
Two,
The proposed
Thank
lot.
you.
to the proposed lot, same side?
Yeah.
It's empty?
I believe it's empty.
Isn't that Danny McCarty's lot? No, that's further down. Yeah, it's empty.
Claire has a question.
It's empty.
You had a question, Counselor?
Yes, just representing that area, are you so sure that those other businesses would want to be rezoned?
It's,
We're not.
we're not, I mean,
No.
just a it should be questioned. The lot as it is today,
That's how
in
they
a
do it.
single lot, we feel is,
I
Okay.
understand what you're doing and why
but,
you're doing it.
and I think, so what it
But
means
I'm not
is,
quite sure that you should be amending it without having the discussion
we,
with the
we,
business owners.
We're
we can't
recommending-
amend, all we're doing is making a recommendation to the city council.
Well, they
What
have
we're
to-
asking, and when they ask the city council, because we can't do it, okay, all we can make is a recommendation is that those business owners should be contacted, and if it in fact is feasible, that strip, okay, and you can't, you know, you would have to do it with their consensus. I don't have any intention, but they should be notified that there's a possibility.
I just
That
like
doesn't-
that to be clarified, because you can rezone it without them
Oh, we could.
approving
but, you
it.
know,
So I
have
just
public
wanted to
hearing.
be sure that was clear, that why you're recommending it, so that it wouldn't be a question of spot zoning at all.
That is correct. That's correct.
I- I guess I don't have a problem with that recommendation if it's possible to do it, but I still don't think it's spot zoning. I mean, spot zoning to me isn't just because one particular spot is now going to be commercial around industrial. It's whether or not that one lot or that small area is going to be singled out for treatment that may be less onerous than imposed upon nearby indistinguishable properties. And it's commercial all around that one area. And I think if he go, I think,
Yeah, but if one of those other businesses moves out, and it goes back to industrial, they gotta apply for a special permit again, correct?
That's right.
So, I know, all I'm saying is, this way here, those businesses on either side don't have to, if they ever do decide to sell or change ownership, they don't have to reapply for a special permit. It's permitted by use, by right. Right?
well, yeah, practically speaking, I guess so, but I guess legally, I just don't think it's spot zoning just because it's one area. I mean, what the rest of you are recommending, if it's possible, I'll go along with that, but I'm not gonna go along with it because I think it's spot zoning. I'll go along with it because
It's better planning.
maybe it's better planning, but legally, I don't think his petition is considered spot zoning.
Okay. Huh? Hmm? Okay. Well, the motion that I have on the floor is that we recommend to the city council that the two lots on either side of J-Tech Park be included with the consensus of the current owners to include this a parcel to create a commercial zone for those 4 lots that frontage on Central Street. Right. Is that the motion? I have a motion.
Second.
I have a motion. Well, I propose the motion. You make the motion?
He made.
That was the
his
motion.
That's the motion.
Repeated it, yes.
Motion made and seconded.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Here now, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. U-Haul, 2727 North Central Avenue, Phoenix, Arizona. Site plan for new construction at 438 Harvard Street. As you wish. Carol?
Oh, I didn't think it needed a site plan review, but now that we got one, I would recommend approval upon the condition that, I would approve the site plan on the condition that they pay for their septic design plan
For the water.
and that they refer to the Conservation Commission as requested by the Conservation Commission.
How about the signage? Fixing the signage?
That-
Put that as a condition in there?
Right, that they conform with the
Sign ordinance?
with the sign ordinance.
How about the encroachment of their pavement onto the city property?
That's already there, though. That's there.
That's existing, okay.
I don't,
So,
you gave me something.
do we have everything? Conditions?
Yeah, that's the conditions. Those are the conditions that we can cite. I don't know
We don't know.
about the problem that there is with the access. I really don't know how to address that one.
Well,
Is that it?
that's, like Carol said, between the two parties. We already had closed the hearing,
Yeah,
so that's not, there's no easement here.
okay.
No, I don't think it lies here.
Yeah, I have, yeah, you're right.
So there's Did she just recommend approval with conditions?
With the conditions, right.
I'll second that.
I have a second to recommend approval with conditions. You have any further discussion? Okay, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. Communications. The wetlands, wasn't it? Is this the letter you can... This letter is to provide information to the Conservation Commission regarding the Leominster Village project at 14 Commercial Road, Leominster, Mass. In the site plan approval, the Leominster Planning Board requested that information be provided to the provided to the Commission regarding the location of the project and its proximity to the Nashua River. This requirement was due to the Conservation Commission's comment regarding the same during the site plan approval process. As per our previous discussion, the Nashua River is located approximately 380 feet to the south from the property line of the Leominster Village project. This distance is beyond any jurisdictional areas of the Conservation Commission in the Wetlands Protection Act. This information is confirmed by the review of the plan dated January 11, 1993, prepared by Whitman and Bingham Associates Incorporated for the building on the abutting property to the south, on file with the Commission. The copy of a portion of this plan is attached as part of this letter for your convenience. This letter serves to fulfill the obligation of the developer to satisfy condition number 3 outlined in the approval dated August 30, 2005.
That can't be right. August 30th, 2005?
Yeah, that's what he's got here. I'm reading what's here.
No, I know, I'm just saying, do we have clarification on the date?
We're in the
Is
future.
it 2004? August 2004?
No, it might be. We'll have to
Was it 2005?
We'll check the date.
I know that.
Yeah, we haven't got there yet. We're working in the future. Should you have any questions or concerns regarding this matter, please do not hesitate to contact us
That's
office.
why he said you, that's why he's not here, 'cause he knows.
They have the wrong year, they have the wrong year.
So why do we have this?
Well, we have it because we put a condition,
Yeah, he's just letting you know that they fulfilled condition number 3.
we put a condition to that go to the Conservation Commission,
Just to make sure.
but then then from this letter in the that it's outside the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission,
Which means
because
it's
there
not.
are no wetlands.
He's more or less just, I think, trying to be thorough and let you know that you placed the condition on there to talk and work it out with conservation. He did that,
Yeah.
so it's just a little
Right.
update.
So that's all this is.
Do you have anything to add to this?
He's not, he's.
This is, he's on a different,
Oh, that's right. Well, there was Whitman and Bingham who did the original one. Okay. Okay.
This is why you were there, I can see.
Well, would this make we probably require a motion to amend that condition?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, more or less,
He's met
guys
the
put
condition.
He's met the condition.
Fine.
met the condition, so.
Yeah, just amend, yeah, and amend the date before filing.
Motion, yeah, amend the date and motion to file it with the
Correct date on
documentation.
it.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Both say no.
Thought I missed a whole month of July.
That was good.
We're working in the future right now. We approved that whole project already.
Okay, here we go.
Letter, Anthony Cleves, Whitman and Bingham, Crossroads modification.
Here we go. This is,
Anthony's letter?
I had it.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
You sure you had Anthony's letter on here?
I didn't see it.
Unless it came in after the packet.
I didn't see it.
I do not have the letter from Anthony.
I think
Last spoken.
Anthony
It's
snipped.
not long, is it? 2 pages.
I'll let Carol read this one.
It's backwards.
I'll read it.
Can't read it, can
What?
I have a copy.
Carol, you're on. I've delegated.
Regarding
She knows
site-
how to read it, too.
Regarding, oh, my glasses, I can't see anymore. Regarding site plan, Peter
Wanna borrow
Zacchelli, 650 Mechanic Street, those are too strong. Dear board members, on behalf of our client Peter Zacchelli, Whitman and Bingham Associates LLC, respectfully request for the planning board to review the attached plans for minor modification to the previous approved site plan for the above referenced project. The project is for the residential phase of the Crossroads Development Project located at 650 Mechanic Street. The project was issued site plan review approval on March 2nd, 2001. The special permit was granted on May 15th, 1987 by the City Council for residential use in an industrial zone. The Zoning Board of Appeals issued a variance on June 2nd, 1987 for density requirements. I hope you have all these brains, Peter. The building department had determined that the previously issued special permit and variance are still valid for this property. The building department also stated that the easterly proposed building on the adjacent property would not be covered under these permits since this lot was not part of the original project. The site plan has been revised to remove the easternmost building and associated parking and to increase the units in the remaining building. The proposed number of units is 120, less than the 148 listed in the special permit and variance approvals. The footprint of the building has minor changes, but the overall shape and location has not changed significantly. The centermost accesses to the parking within the building have been removed to improve traffic patterns within the site. The overall stormwater collection system has remained consistent with the previously approved plan. The stormwater basins have been enlarged slightly, and an additional set of catch basins were added to the eastern side of the project. The proposed roof will have breaks to disperse stormwater to each side of the building. The previous plan had the roof runoff concentrated to 2 underground recharge areas. Due to the disbursement of the roof runoff and slight expansion of the stormwater basin, the need for the underground recharge areas has been eliminated, thus they have been removed from the design. The amount of proposed parking has been reduced to 198 spaces from the previously proposed 223. Parking spaces were removed from within the building, 16 spaces, as well as the west side of the building, 16 spaces, adjacent lot, 32 spaces, and main entrance area, 6 spaces. Additional spaces were added to the northwest corner of property, 17 spaces in revised parking configuration. Along the western driveway, 25 spaces, and eastern side of the building, 3 spaces. A total of 45 spaces were added around the building and 70 spaces were removed, resulting in a net reduction of 25 spaces. The number of parking spaces provided exceeds the required amount by 13 spaces. The water service and sewer service connect to the existing systems at the same location as previously approved. Also, the total impervious area and overall traffic patterns have not changed. As requested by the board at our previous meeting, plans have been submitted for the parking and units within the building. On behalf of our client, this office will be willing to meet with the board. If you should have any questions, please call us. Well, that's a lot of changes for a minor modification.
Again, I tried to spell out everything so it was very clear. So it made it seem long and involved.
No.
I just wanted to make sure.
So basically, you're going from 148 to 120, and the parking is being reduced by 25 spaces. Being reduced by 25 spaces.
25.
But it still exceeds by 13.
What I passed out there, some 11 by 17s. The one that I passed out first, closest to you, is a revised plan. That's what we have for tonight. And the one I laid further away from you is the previously approved plan. To kind of show you, I know it's tough to see on the small scale. But,
okay, go ahead.
I can see where the parking's eliminated.
The configuration of the site basically has not changed. Still have an access in and out here off of Mechanic Street. This was requested to be a right turn only exit.
Right.
The flow through the property still remains the same, circular path, both directions around the building. Building location stays the same. Detention basin still in this rear portion here. Another detention basin along Mechanic Street. Still have parking up along front and access around the building. We did add another access here so people can loop in and around. We took out parking along the building in this area to provide some more landscaping along the building, get some of the cars away from the close proximity of the building wall.
Bless you.
But again, one of the catalysts for the revised plans is the previously approved plan. We had a building on this lot here.
That's right.
And the building department, Mr. Zacchelli, went down in 2003 for the building department to start pulling the building permits and everything and going on this, and the building department said, no, this lot, you can't be falling under the special permit variance that was given back in the 80s because this building wasn't shown on those plans at that time. It was just proposed for this being residential and this being the office part. So we said, no, you can't do that. So that's what prompted the revisions to the plan, to remove this building and make some modifications to improve traffic flow and pedestrian movement within the building. But again, the overall characteristics of the plan really haven't changed. And at the last meeting, we were here in February, we came back and we said we're just going to make some more modifications to the building. And I believe Mr. Giacone requested to see the parking underneath the building, because some of the required parking we proposed was underneath the building.
I don't know if you should be moving away from 2 per unit parking spaces or moving towards 2 per unit parking. The question I have is this: on a building like this, do you have a staff of employees that work, like custodial staff? Does anybody work here
Well, we have
to run the building?
We have a maintenance staff for our office parking.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have extra spaces for the employees to park?
Oh, yeah, next door.
Where will they park?
Well, he's talking about for this building.
Because these parking spaces should be for the tenants. Now, if you have employees, I'd like to see additional spaces for them.
Well, the only employees would probably just be maintenance people.
Maintenance, service, deliveries. How about
Again,
deliveries? Do you have a place for deliveries?
No, I mean, there's no deliveries. It's an apartment building, so there's no designated loading area necessarily for.
Yeah, well, with 110 apartments, you're probably going to have somebody there all the time for some kind of maintenance or service or one kind or the other.
And again, we do exceed the requirements for parking by 13 spaces as well.
We did.
I know you met the requirement. I'm just saying.
So I'm saying
maybe
we exceeded the requirements.
Yeah.
If you see that, I think what he's trying to get to is like,
Maybe you might want to consider a little extra on the parking rather than a little
Well,
tight.
if you look at
We
the
did,
I think
revised,
the 1.5. I think the 1.5 spaces per unit might be becoming outmoded. I think you're seeing more like 2 cars per unit wherever you go.
Again, we have provided 13 spaces beyond the requirements, so we don't just meet the requirements, we do have additional spaces beyond the requirements as well.
I know that, yeah.
Okay, I just.
Just offering you a suggestion.
Okay, yeah, no, I appreciate that.
I think the other suggestion was that, you know, in your layout,
Yeah.
and picking up on what Arvin said, was that possibly in your layout, you might have a designated area
Designated parking maybe?
designated for like UPS, FedEx, because more and more people are buying stuff.
I
Yeah.
voted for 25 additional spaces. I'm not inclined to vote in favor of this modification by reducing the parking.
well, the parking was reduced because the unit count was reduced.
So, how many units were there before?
223, and now there's I'm sorry, there was 19.
The unit count before was 140.
148, now there's
30
120.
units less?
28 less.
28 less, okay.
So that's why the parking was reduced.
Yeah, Armin, take a look at this.
28 less,
It's easier
and
to-
how many spaces did we lose?
We didn't reduce the amount of parking, we reduced the amount of units, which reduced the amount of parking along with it. We cut the units down significantly. Basically what happened is, there's 20 units on this building with the parking associated with it. We took that out.
What building, there was a building there and it's not there
It's
anymore?
220.
It was a proposed building.
Oh, proposed, okay.
Proposed building.
Proposed building, yes.
Okay,
Again,
all right.
the building department ruled, because it wasn't part of the original special permit variance back in the 80s, it couldn't be applied to those special
Okay.
permits and variances.
Mr. President.
And you show snow storage on there, right?
Yeah, with snow storage,
Okay.
along here, along this area.
And that hasn't changed?
It has changed where, this used to be parking, so
Oh,
this is
okay.
now snow storage.
Okay.
So basically, some of the areas flip-flop, where it was parking, it's now snow storage, or snow storage.
Okay.
is now parking. Getting back to more, is there more questions? or?
Keep going, yeah, that's good.
One of the, as I mentioned, one of the comments from the last meeting, I kind of wanted to see how the layout of the park underneath the building would work. And the architect, JSA, developed this concept here. Basically, cars can come in and out at the end of the building, and you have perpendicular parking throughout, and then they come in and around, they come out that way.
Are these assigned spaces per unit?
Yeah, they will be, yes.
Good question.
Another comment from the previous meeting, we want to see kind of about the units, what kind of units were gonna be in there. So again, the architect put together this little plan. All the floors are the same. You have 4 types of units. Type A being a 2-bedroom, Type B a 2-bedroom, Type C a 1-bedroom, and Type D a 3-bedroom. That's how you see on the parking count. We have split up between 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom. We need more spaces for the 3-bedroom.
Okay.
Basically, there's only 2 3-bedrooms per floor. One located here and one located here.
And those will all be assigned spaces toward the 3-bedroom units, 2-bedroom units, 1-bedroom unit, etc.
Right, I mean, they'll be assigned underneath the building. I think we have some assigned parking outside the building too, Peter, possibly?
Yeah,
It would have to, I mean, otherwise it's not gonna work if you get visitors.
Yeah, red signs on that.
What are you gonna do, just out of curiosity, what are you gonna do, I mean, I'm just, in my head, I'm thinking Chapman Place, you know, some of the driveways were long enough that held 2 vehicles, others only would hold 1, and then they banned all the outside, you know, the street parking within the complex, and it became a real problem with visitor parking. I'm just, you know, I know you exceed the spaces, but what about visitor parking?
Most of the visitor parking will be in the front of the building where the lobby is.
Yep.
That won't be assigned, that'll be,
But what if there's, I mean, you got 100, just humor me anyway, you got 120 units, is that what it was?
Yeah.
120 units, let's say 25% of them have a visit at the same time, right? Can they,
Grandparents at the graduation party.
can they access, just out of curiosity, can they access the office parking?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's a good question.
it is connected.
They are connected.
There is a driveway in that connects the two
Maybe we'll
areas.
consider putting a stairway down to the parking lot down there.
Because I'm just, you know, visitor parking is gonna be an issue here.
Yeah, it's a good
With
idea.
that number of spaces, and the people that live there, they're gonna steal the people that live there spaces.
Yeah.
Especially, they don't care if they're assigned, they're only there for the night,
Yeah.
or for a couple hours. So I would make that.
Either that, or like you said, when you had that building
Yeah.
originally, you know, you put
Maybe,
a visitor parking out
maybe a
there,
visitor
That's a good idea. We'll
it's just a flat parking area and say, hey,
Yeah.
that
Visitors
other
only.
building, you know, well, that's visitor parking.
Unless you have a security truck, guard with a tow truck driving around all the
That's,
time.
but, you know, that's what they had to do, they had to provide, but then they had to keep the residents from not using the visitor parking too, which presents a, you know.
Well, that's a management.
Yeah, no, I'm just,
Good luck.
you know, maybe you put a few spaces for
Yeah, it's a
visitors.
good idea.
So you don't get people, you know, they might get an outdoor you.
Yeah.
Okay, let Anthony speak.
Sorry.
And also, so just like, so we're talking about put a staircase to kind of tie.
That would be good.
So you
Yeah.
have some overflow parking here in the office park.
You could do that, or like you said,
That
you know,
little
that
lot in the front where the
that
other
little lot in
building
the front where
was.
the other building was.
Again, I'm not sure how the building department feels as far as tying parking in and out. I mean, sure, I mean, that's another option. We have size the drainage to accommodate additional impervious areas.
Yeah.
It wouldn't change anything.
Right.
You know, so we can consider that, maybe not right away, but at least it's a vacant lot. If we do have a problem, we can add that. But I think
I
at
mean,
the very
that-
least, it's
that's
a bad
true,
idea
yeah.
I think it'd be a good idea.
to put some stairway in there
Absolutely.
to tie that together, so it's.
Additional
Especially on
parking would
weekend.
be a lot more.
Well,
Business
someone will
park.
probably be living in the office park, they'll probably want a stairway to go up to
Right.
the unit.
And then plus, the office park isn't open during the weekends, right?
Yeah.
And that'll be your overflow for visitors for
Something
weekends
going
too.
on.
That's what.
And after hours.
Yeah.
Once the library gets built.
Oh, we'll wait for that. They like that new home.
I've heard a lot of good comments.
And then just for the board's benefit,
How big, what's the square footage of the D units? Just curious.
Anthony will tell you that right there. He's the guy with the numbers.
it's,
He doesn't know.
it's 55 by 28.
So do the math,
Very
right?
calculated tender nowadays.
Good size range.
Really? That's quite a
55 by 28, that's good size.
1,600 square foot.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
And that's okay. And then just for the board's benefit, the architect put together a little elevation to kind of give you an idea of how it would look.
Yeah, it's huge.
Police what?
Elevators?
6 floors?
Yeah, so you gotta walk up all of them.
Yeah, you gotta carry your furniture up.
Fire department
6
gets the
flights of
aerial
stairs.
right?
I used to live on
But
5
you get the cover. Appliances come with the units.
Fire department got aerials to cover this?
Right.
Yeah, they can go up 6 floors.
The building is actually a 6-story building, but the parking level is.
It's counted as one level.
Considered as one level.
Yeah, so it's only 5 above.
It'll be open parking. The garage door will be open.
Okay.
Just halfway open.
So who gets the 84 spaces?
We're gonna have to do a lottery.
For 120, you got 84
Well, you know, it's
spaces underneath.
First one's in, they buy the big units.
Yeah.
Not any of the single units. Sorry, Anthony, proceed.
No, that's it. Just, unless you have any more questions.
It's just a
Okay, so those are all the answers, the questions, answers the questions that we had, correct?
Yes.
I would make, I think the first motion we need is, I would make a motion that I would consider this a minor modification that doesn't require site plan. Is that the way we should do it? Or
Yes.
just? So that's my motion. I would consider a motion that this is a minor modification that does not require site plan review.
I'll second that, Carol.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries.
We just gave it a site plan review.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
It's all right.
That's the thing about site plan. We argue about, it doesn't need site plan for 20 minutes, and we've had the site plan.
I've already done it.
Well, what it does is, you know, I mean, you've done it, you know, we agreed that the motion takes, we need another motion.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
we
so.
need it.
To accept the
just don't
changes.
deny it.
To accept the changes.
Just check, make
I
a
think you
motion,
should make it.
why don't you make the change?
Because you want to talk about the,
Yeah, I mean,
Future
I'll make
project.
the motion to accept the modifications as presented in the letter, with the modification that you do put that stairway into the office part to accommodate overflow parking for visitors, and if it does become an issue with visitors, you take a look at the parking configuration and see what else could be done. I think that would just be good for you.
Yeah.
Versus-
No, it's a good idea. No, I don't think it's
If something with you, if you want to add to it, you can reference the date on the plan too, if that helps. It's, the
Sure.
plan's been revised, May 31st, 2005.
So we're looking for that other, as of the revision of the plan,
May 31st.
for the other revision showing the walkway.
Yeah, would you like another plan submitted to show that and then reference that plan?
Yeah.
Or would you like to
No, we'll
stay with
reference
the
the new plan, but we'll with the
This
condition.
plan with just the condition,
This
that's
plan
all.
with the condition.
Okay, and then we can, once we revise the plan, I can just submit it to the plan department to
Right.
have it
That's fine.
filed. Okay.
Exactly.
The next
Yep.
revision would be number 2.
Okay, I have a motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any
It's on the
discussion?
phone
Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you. Good job.
Good thing he has you, Anthony.
Good luck.
I know.
Okay.
You did 6.3.
Did a nice job.
If you don't want them, I'll take them back.
Very nice.
Yeah, Anthony, we got more paper than we know what it is.
Try to swamp
This one is initiated by the city council.
I can't read it anyway.
Okay, sure.
So they're one and the same.
So can we just vote on it? Or do we have to?
I think with the letter just reference. And the recommendation goes on.
What?
It's just, the only change from 6.3 to the petition you guys just discussed regarding in-law apartments is originally, Councilor Frida had submitted it on her own.
Oh, okay. And everybody else
6.3
signed on it.
is submitted with
In
the rest of the
conjunction.
councilors
Yeah.
standing behind it as well. So it's the council petition is
Yep.
6.3.
Right.
I think you guys can give your
It's a
same,
recommendation to the city council.
correct, you can give your same recommendation where it technically is the same request. We can just make a reference in the letter.
We're on record. I'll be on record as supporting the.
Yeah, as long as we don't get,
Okay,
yeah.
I
It was
see.
just her, now they're all on board with it,
right.
submitting the same petition.
Okay.
So therefore you're
City
saying,
council has to recommend, it has to send it as
a body.
Right, an individual can't submit.
Okay, then I see the difference in the petition number. So I make a motion to recommend approval of City Council of petition number 94-05.
And to reference,
To reference our earlier decision.
early decision
Petition
on
number 85-05.
85.
Exactly. And both are made,
Yeah.
reference to both. It's fine.
Second.
Second, over there.
Did I
Tommy?
second it already?
No, Tom did.
That would be Tom to
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Both say no.
That's your.
Motion carries. That saves a hearing. Okay, City Council petition 9505. Mark Brito, President of Brito Oil, and 10 registered voters amend Chapter 22, Section 22-26 of the revised ordinances titled Table of Uses by inserting the following under industrial use: storage and distribution of home heating fuels. And the change here is an industrial yes. That requires a hearing.
It's not,
Public hearing.
Public
It
hearing.
requires a public hearing,
it's a whole new category.
and we're gonna have to advertise, so we're going to
Right.
push it to our July 19th,
July 19th?
So moved.
at
Second.
6:45.
Second.
6:45?
Yep.
Ahmed said, wait a minute. You had a question,
I
Ahmed?
think I'm in Pensacola that day, so.
So this is a whole new category, not just a change in.
No, that's right.
That's right.
So,
By inserting the following under industrial uses.
so this is not a category in the existing, so
The existing
the
tables.
in the existing zoning ordinance, so the existing oil storage facilities,
Where's it going
What
on?
are they
Where's it
doing?
on now? Yeah.
They don't.
Storage, it's probably not even in there.
There's
But it should
nothing
be
in there.
gasoline storage too.
This one needs a hearing, this one's a recommendation.
Automotive.
I couldn't find
Service stations for the dispersing of fuel, washing, and lubricating vehicles, such minor vehicles.
didn't do it.
Why wouldn't it do
See,
it?
he shouldn't.
Because it's dispensing of fuel. These guys are just storing the fuel to dispense it in their trucks.
No, you get that suspension, you're talking about gas stations.
What are they doing it now?
No, it requires a public hearing.
Because it wasn't in,
It's not in there.
wasn't in there.
They've looked. I have a motion for July 19th at 6:45. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. City Council petition 9605. Joe D. Spound, trustee, Orangewood Crawford Trust, amend the Leominster zoning map to restore the industrial zoning district to the entire property identified on its assessor's map 227 Lot 5A located at 11 Crawford Street. Land is currently zoned partially industrial and partially Residence B.
Okay, once again, it's going to require a hearing. We can do it also on July 19th at 7 o'clock.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Here now, call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. City Council petition 9705. Patrick LaPointe, City of Leominster, DPW, grant special permit to install a new sewer line from Granite Street to the beginning of West Street, located within the floodplain. I have no idea why this came to us.
I was going to say, this doesn't require a hearing, we can provide a recommendation on it.
Recommendation, the only recommendation, comments that I've heard,
This was a courtesy to keep us informed.
to keep us informed, the comment I've had of some people is, especially in the Pleasant Street area, when they closed that off, when they did the bridge, they really did a job on the businesses in that area.
Oh, this would have the bridge.
The people, I mean, that whole thing. So they're gonna be tearing up this road, that they do all that they can to keep Pleasant Street open.
No.
Well, look, it's the same thing on the Marion Avenue. What do you expect? Another fine job by the low bidder.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is
doing it?
no, this is way up from Granite Street.
No, the city,
Italy, they throw out the
will be
low
doing
bid.
it, so.
Right.
But this came in front of the Development Review Board, and the traffic concerns and not closing down streets to affect businesses was a big issue. So they will definitely come up with a plan before any work starts, and I want to say work's going to begin in August and go straight through the holiday. It should be wrapped up right around the holidays. it's essentially the Rockwell Village, plan, that sewer moratorium, this is
Well,
what
I
they.
realize it has to be done, it's a sewer moratorium.
Right, but no, it's definitely, everyone's conscious of the fact that they don't want businesses shut down and paralyzed while construction's going on.
Okay.
So, it's
That's
definitely.
pretty much the only comment that I have on this is the traffic, and if they've addressed it,
Development Review Board is a
Development Review.
major bone of contention, so they've discussed it, and I think they'll come up with a traffic plan to keep businesses going.
Granite Street to the beginning of West Street.
Put the new Trump all the way down.
all the way through.
But this is the whole new Trump, but this isn't just from Granite Street to the beginning of West Street. At Granite Street?
That's
Down
correct,
to
yeah.
across Exchange, down by Rockwell Pond, across, yeah, Elm Street, down, okay.
Down the brook,
Cottage
all the way
Street,
down.
yep.
Back to west.
Yeah, I think it ends right over
Yep.
here.
Yeah.
Right at the end of West Street, yeah.
I think they're gonna use one of those,
They're doing
the roto-rooter thing there.
Yeah, they're doing, it's like, I forget what they call it, but
It's almost like
they're
watching
blowing
Armageddon.
pipe bursting. It's
Right.
like as they're pushing one pipe through, they're pulling another one at
That's
the
right.
same time.
I've seen this, no,
I'm actually, I want to see it.
no, this is a very interesting process, it's exactly what it does, and it does it so quickly, it's light years ahead of the conventional way of doing this. And it's actually it's a bit that travels
Yeah.
through, breaking up the old pipe and laying the new pipe at the same time.
Breaks it and feeds it at the same
Yep.
time.
So is everything
Which is really
underground?
kind of a-
Everything, yeah.
I mean, underground, but you don't see it above the ground?
No, it sounds like they just do it all right underneath.
So maybe that'll be good.
Sounds pretty neat, so.
There's a name for it, I just,
Like
the
this tunnel.
cavity is there, right, the cavity's already there.
Yeah.
There's a name for it, I forget
The
what
name
it
is in
is.
the literature here.
It's pretty interesting though.
Well, do we recommend approval?
Yeah, I reckon.
Yes, recommend approval and that we
And that
we look at the
with the
caution on the traffic.
on the business, on
Right.
business and residential
residential.
impact.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. City Council petition 9805. Stephen J. Landry, McGuire Group Incorporated, granting special permit to install approximately 1,900 linear feet of new 18-inch gravity sanitary sewer in a portion of the mill at
Sanitary sewer?
Yeah, the
So, in Whitney Field, shown on Assessors Map 567 as lots 12 and 24, located in the floodplain.
It isn't. It's kind of a-
Once again, this doesn't require a
Doesn't require
hearing. You
intelligence.
guys can provide a recommendation if you'd like.
Anybody have any comments on this one? Whitney Field?
I can't, these are the buildings we already approved, or these are just to feed the lots that they
Yeah,
haven't
this
built
is
on
the feed the
yet?
lot. Yeah.
This is something that hasn't come before us yet, and just putting the infrastructure in. I don't know enough about it.
This is a new pipeline, so they won't have to overtax the old one.
I think it, yeah, to supplement line.
Is there a public, does this need a public hearing?
No.
No.
This is
No,
just a
it's-
yay and nay.
Exactly.
Wait a minute.
In the back.
It was here, but
Oh, wait a minute, I think it's Commercial road, the
I lost
only
mine.
violation, deny proposed sewer.
There it is, that's something else. There it is.
Yeah, here's the waste, this is, where's it proposed? Right here.
Right.
It looks like it's gonna come right at the intersection of Sac Boulevard. Because this is, look, this is probably.
Right here.
Oh, this is Route 2. What is this? Yeah.
See, this is Route 2.
Is everything similar? Right.
And the only reason it requires special permit is it goes into the floodplain?
This is, the Chinese food place. No,
Yeah, this is the,
Yeah, that's Chinese, that's the centipede, isn't it?
yeah.
Right here.
See, right
This
here.
is the old, this is gonna, chopsticks.
Right
Chopsticks.
right through here.
This is chopsticks.
Proposed
And then
sewer.
this is tile place, and this is
Up here.
water.
Yeah, there's an
No,
exit.
this is Wendy's and Burger King.
Sit right here.
It's across.
Yeah, that's right there.
This is the off-ramp.
Yeah, it's right in the Baker, it goes right by Baker, and then up to the truck line.
It goes by, I see, this is the Route 2 West.
So here it is, there's an Nashua,
This is,
and it's gonna go, yes.
this This is Route 2 west.
Baker, and there's the ramp, come down the
Across
ramp,
the ramp.
on the Route 2. On the Route 2, and then over.
Come down.
So that provides another whole sewer line to that area.
Road's missing.
Right.
Again, it looks like the same motion is that you're cautious of, especially on River Street and Main Street when the traffic situation is going to be, has to be dealt with, yeah. Well, if they do it now when they're working on the bridge, it shouldn't be too bad.
This goes underneath Route 2.
Yeah, it goes under Route 2, it goes under, it goes, you know, then on the new bridge.
Well, you know, it's their own business. They'll be killing if they do it wrong.
Yeah, that's a whole.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, I think the same motion is in order that we recommend approval with a recommendation that every effort be made to traffic not be interrupted, not be impeded.
So moved.
Especially the Route 13 traffic.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no, motion carries.
Yes.
City Council petition 101-05, John Dombrowski. Now, is this gonna be into the same thing that we need?
It's gonna require a hearing, but it's probably gonna be the same thing where the next time it comes on our agenda, it's gonna have the rest of the council behind it.
Okay.
So you'll be taking it up either way. So.
Okay. Adopt an ordinance requiring the payment of development impact linkage fees for the commercial and residential development within the city of Leominster.
Okay, again, it's gonna require a hearing. We can slide it, we can do 3 council petitions on July 19th, and this one will be at 7:15.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no.
What's the difference between linkage and impact?
Well, what he's looking at is, his linkage is that you
In other
actually,
words, they don't call them taxes, they call it linkage and impact fees.
yeah, but it's a tax.
It's a tax. It's a new tax.
An extortion. Okay, we gotta go, do you have anything on the director's report?
No.
Okay, we're gonna go into, need a motion to go into executive session to discuss the planning director.
I make a motion.
The motion that we go into executive session, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no.
No.
Motion carries.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Carol.